Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
You talk about classing up the joint.
I'm trying to move like this.
Thank you, Jay. I have classed up the joint today.
Aditi Kinkhabwala is here from AFC North and Pittsburgh Steelers coverage fame.
Legitimacy.
And can we take the 5 shot again? Now, first of all, she looks like a child because she's so tiny sitting
big
between
chair.
two
Put me
tall
in
men.
the biggest possible chair. If I actually sat back in the chair, my feet
I mean,
would
even
not.
I look tall right now.
Guys,
Superpower.
I
actually
How
told
tall are
Kenny
you?
Pickett that. I am 5'3", thank you very much.
5'3".
Oh,
I might be just as tall. Look, standing up. I don't even fill the screen.
Look at that.
Aditi, welcome. We had so much fun with you last week. You joined us via remote, and we had so much fun, and we knew that you were going to be in Cleveland, so we wanted to have you in for the entire show. So thank you very much for coming.
I hope you don't regret it at the end of 2
I
hours.
promise you we won't. We'll probably be asking you to come back once a week. Adam the Bull, Mike Polk's in because it's a Thursday. He's in every Tuesday, Thursday. Of course, Aditi. G. Bush had to, for you, he normally sets the belt right here.
Right there.
And he said, I don't want this to block Aditi. Because you might have been invisible behind
I
the
really
belt.
do look like a hobbit, by the way.
Move the damn belt, G.
That's
Bush.
going to be mine on Tuesday. I'm taking that belt from you.
Tell
listen.
me how you're not going to be hot in that. Are you really? Is the fashion worth it? You're not going to be hot in that?
It's all for the gram.
All right, well, you got to do it. I understand.
Have you guys ever wore too small shoes just because they were cool?
No.
Never done that.
Look at us.
Look at both.
Look at us. I mean, come on.
Well, you are a schmedium guy,
like-
aren't
like
you? Don't you
schmedium?
wear like the schmedium shirt?
Yeah, I wear those muscle shirts.
Yeah.
I just bought a
We call him
sleeveless
Big
shirt.
Plaid. He loves the big plaid shirts.
I do.
Look comfy.
There you go.
I
It's
haven't seen a short
comfortable.
sleeve one.
We
I
forgot
have
to go
say
to
that.
Mikey McNuggets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
Oh, Mikey.
What's up, fam?
Oh.
I'm
How
sorry,
we doing
bro.
today?
I'm sorry. How you doing in
He's
there?
wearing
Doing
plaid
good.
too.
Yeah.
It is a plaid
That's
day.
where
Hey,
we
back
keep
in.
him. We keep him
He's
back there.
He's got a man crush on Bull.
I ripped
I
this
do.
off the wallpaper of my house.
He's starting a trend. He's starting a trend among the young people.
Hey, we do want to, before we start, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, there's some eyes coming to us. Let's pull up the video, Steve. Check out these retweets from yesterday. How about Urban Meyer and Richard Sherman? Tweeting the
nice.
show.
Sherman, I
Wow.
didn't see that one.
That's 4 million Twitter followers combined, so shout out Tyvis for making some
How does
waves.
that translate to viewers? That's all I care about.
Right.
Right.
It helps.
Tyvus, now we know
Tyvus
Tyvus
had
is
nothing to
lit.
do with it. That was Urban retweeted because he saw my beautiful blue shirt. He was impressed. That's why.
You know what I love
that's why
about
we
this show
tweeted.
is how truthful everyone is.
Oh,
Yes.
there's no
Immediately.
secrets in here.
Yeah,
we
no.
will probably ask you
No.
questions that will make you blush.
It gets
Maybe.
uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
probably
does.
us.
Well, I think when Maurice Claret was here Tuesday, and at some point, I think it might have been when he said that he actually broke up a Mike Tyson orgy.
Yes.
I think
Who
Mike
hasn't
said,
broken up
I
a
think
Mike
Mike said, well, yeah, of course you did.
Yeah, why not? You know.
That's
So,
happened to all of us.
Will, I hope you have a story similar to breaking up a Mike Tyson orgy.
I'm working on one right now. I do have a few.
Okay, good.
I have hanging at the Super Bowl with the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, wow. There you
Nice.
go.
Very
Okay.
good.
Can't wait to get that
Okay.
first.
Now you have to tell that before we go. Well, first of all, you're here. Tell everybody why you're here.
Because Adam invited me. Because Adam is as good
Really?
of a friend as
Yes,
somebody
we're-
could be.
Well, I appreciate that. Yes, indeed. And I invited her because she's a lot of fun, and she came to do a chalk talk with Kevin Stefanski.
I did indeed.
That's
but
why
I
you're
should
really here.
acknowledge that the first time I walked in onto a practice field in Berea and I heard that voice,
Yeah.
it was like a little piece of home.
Unmistakable.
Yes, well,
Right?
and that's how we connected because she's from New Jersey, I'm from New York, and then we chatted away.
And know a lot
You know,
of
and
the
then she
similar
got a
people.
good interview, and I got some third-string offensive
Yeah,
linemen.
whatever. And I had an unpleasant experience once, and it was Bull who stood up for me.
Thank
in
you.
Really?
Berea.
Well,
Yes,
you know
with
what?
a
I
coach
imagine
whose name might have been Shmew Jackson. But in any case,
Yes.
Oh my
a
gosh.
coach who is far more friendly, Kevin
Yes, he
Stefanski, and
is.
who's doing
Yeah.
a lot of wonderful things. He was holding a chalk talk last night at the stadium for Bank of America and its elite clients, and I was asked to come in and ask questions.
Yeah.
And Kevin Stefanski, as you know, does not necessarily like to answer questions. He does a magical job of dancing around them.
The Artful Dodger.
He is.
Andrew Berry, same thing. neither one of them likes to really give answers.
But this is one of my other superpowers. So one of my superpowers is making everybody look tall.
Yes.
The other one is I pride myself on being able to make people laugh. I mean, Barbara Walters had the crying thing.
Right.
But so the last time I had Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, I got both of them to laugh, which was draft night. And last night, Stefanski laughed a lot.
That's great.
And it was great. You know, it was very much one of those, like, we talked about, we took questions from the audience, obviously. One of the questions from the audience was, will we ever see Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt on the field together?
We've been talking about that for 2 weeks.
Forever.
Please tell me he said
And
yes.
I said to Stefanski, I said to him, you know, you made me look stupid last year because I promised that this was actually going to happen.
Right.
And he goes, I heard you say that. That's why I never did it.
So what did he say
Now I'm
yesterday?
making all of you laugh.
That was very good.
Yeah.
I wish he would have listened to you.
What did he say yesterday? Did he say he'd
So
do it?
what he said is that of course it's in there and they're always trying to play with things like that.
Yeah.
But he
Not always.
loves it. Well,
Yeah.
He said he loves the 1-2 punch. That the two of them are such different athletes. That tackling Chubb than going to tackle Hunt is such a change
And they spell one another too.
They do, and then it's also the idea of, you know, if you put both of them in there, then you're taking somebody else out. And who do you really want to take off the field? Of course, now
Harrison
we've
Bryant,
got some
David
new-
Njoku. I can name a bunch of people.
Austin.
A bunch of guys.
We did talk about tight ends. He was
Yeah.
asked about who he expects a big jump from, and he said Harrison Bryant is a young guy that he thinks is ready to take a step. That, you know, with Austin Hooper moving on,
He hates to
was-
see Hooper go, doesn't he?
I'll refrain from comment.
This
He
guy.
did have very lovely things to say about Jarvis Landry and his, you know,
Yeah, sure.
disappointment in Landry leaving, and he said
You
he's
know,
not
did they
ready
make a
to
play
put.
to keep him even after he walked away? Because there was a report out there that he received a very handsome contract offer that was bigger than the one he ended up signing in New Orleans. Do you know that to be true or not?
I don't know what the exact offer was, but I do think that there was a fair amount of interest. I think that the issue is, and this is, you see this across the National Football League, you work so hard to get that veteran salary, you believe you are worth that veteran salary, and now you're a veteran, they don't want to pay that when you've got cheap young talent.
Especially,
Right
it seems like
around
that's
the-
the trend at wide receiver. We've seen marquee names at wide
Well,
receiver.
you look at the trades that we saw on draft
Right.
Teams
night.
are willing
Yeah.
to go, you know what? Go ahead. We
Right.
can't pay you what you think you're worth. We're going to go draft the next Jarvis Landry.
Well, the last 2 years, we've seen a lot of wide receivers come right out of college and dominate.
Like a
And
Jamar
I think-
Chase.
Right.
And Andrew Berry talked about this a few weeks ago when he said the proliferation of flag football and 7-on-7 means that these kids are more proficient passers and catchers than they have been in a long time.
That's
And that's
interesting.
part
Okay,
of
I
it.
hadn't thought about
So that's part of why you're kind of seeing this flux of them. I mean, I'll tell you this, the Steelers, if we move across the AFC North, they drafted two this year, George Pickens and Calvin Austin. And I talked to a member of their coaching staff earlier in the week after rookie minicamp, and he said he thinks both of them are going to be really good. I mean, think
He's
about
got to
that.
hit
Like
on
to
one,
say
really.
is that-
One of them's got to be amazing.
Right.
You're
Well, and
good.
the Steelers' track record at receiver is incredible.
Yes.
Well, and I wonder how much of that Kevin Colbert, the outgoing GM, has always attributed that to Ben Roethlisberger. He's
Really?
always said you have a Hall of Fame quarterback, he makes the receivers look good.
Well, we'll find out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We will find
We're
out.
going to find
now.
out a lot about Pittsburgh
Yeah.
moving
We
forward.
will.
Yeah.
Because a good quarterback can hide a lot of deficiencies.
Yes.
And you saw that in New England when Tom Brady left.
Yeah.
He took over a team that didn't make the playoffs the year before, and he goes to Tampa and he, of course, wins the Super Bowl. They hide a
How
lot
long
of
is he
warts.
playing?
Yeah.
How
Great
long is he
quarterbacks.
playing?
I think till he's 50.
Even though he's got that big money deal waiting on him?
Aditi, can you believe that? He's going to make
Yeah.
more money as a player.
It's
Or, I
almost-
mean, as a
As a
broadcaster.
It's almost like he's
broadcaster.
not
That he's
motivated by money, and he's just a psychopath who wants to be the best at anything, at the thing he's done his
I
whole
think
life.
that's why
really
they're
what it is.
willing to pay him so much because
Yeah.
they know his drive, that he's not going to be okay with being just okay.
No,
He's
he'll
like, wow,
work
money.
and be great
I could
at it.
really
There's
use
no
some of
question
that.
about that.
And we're not going to
It's-
believe it if he retires after next year. We're going to assume he's going to come back again. At least I
Yep.
will.
It's like Elton John.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think when he does it again, it's going to be for real.
You think
I,
so?
I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I do think when he steps away, because he's already got something that's signed, sealed, and delivered and waiting for him. And by
That's
the way,
true.
what NFL player can you look to, and a top-tier NFL guy who's making top-tier money, he never needed the money. It was never about the money for him. That's why he was never the highest-paid player
Right.
on the Patriots.
No, I think it's because he was so smart that he knew he needed a team around him. And
Sure.
you look at a Josh Allen.
And he had a
who kinda
wife that
thinks
was
that
making
way.
bank, too,
Yes.
so that
and
made
he was
it
making all
easy.
that
Right.
endorsement money,
Yeah.
the Uggs and the
Yes.
vitamin water and everything.
Sure.
He was figuring out how to capitalize on his. He recognized, it's Ramon Foster is a former Steelers lineman who used to love to say, "You win, everybody eats." And so the idea was Brady knew a Super Bowl is worth so much money off of the field. So
Forever.
do
You
everything
become
you
an
can.
industry.
I mean, Phil Simms once told me that Phil Simms doesn't have his broadcasting career, if he were not a Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, because he was just a guy as a quarterback. I mean, he was a good
but he
quarterback.
wins the Super Bowl.
But
and
not
all
Look
this-
at what he did in the Super Bowl, too. He was so good in his one chance.
Yep.
That you're right. I mean, he didn't. If you take the Super Bowl away, and obviously you can't, but if you do, he's just another guy. Really.
And by the way, those guys that get that big bag as analysts, those are only for quarterbacks. Those are
typically.
it's Romo, Sims,
Hey, Joe Buck is getting money.
Strahan.
Bradshaw,
Getting money.
Boomer Esiason. Well,
I don't.
Strahan
makes money.
Okay,
but he's one. You're right. Generally,
he's
it's
one of
28
few.
hours a day.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
when-
that.
He's
when
also
you-
going to be with like Kelly Ripa and stuff, and
Yeah.
like seeing like
he's on
dogs
Good Morning
that can do
America.
By the way,
tricks.
does I probably shouldn't say this, but I'll say it anyway because we keep it real. Does anybody ever find Terry Bradshaw entertaining? I find him so uninteresting.
I do, but I'm
You
old.
like him?
But I do. I find his. You know why? I think he has the same Charles Barkley thing. He's real. You never know what the
That's
guy's
true.
going to say. And here's what I hate, and Bull, I know you do too, because we've talked about this. We hate plastic broadcasters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to NFL Kickoff.
I
We've got
can't stand that.
Don't do that.
Yes.
Don't do that, because if you ever talk to me like that in real life, I will leave the room.
Yeah, it's really.
So,
I
do
was
you
in a
think
locker
Brady's
room.
going to do that? Do you think
No.
Brady will be like that, plastic,
Will he
or
be
he'll
honest?
be real?
Will he be
No.
honest?
Well, let me really quickly on Terry Bradshaw. I was in a locker room at Candlestick Park when John Mara's late mother, Ann Mara, I believe. Is that right?
I think that's
Somebody
right.
help
It
me out.
sounds right.
Yelled at Terry Bradshaw. Look it up. Google it, everybody.
really?
Like in front of
She-
everybody.
In front of everybody.
Why?
She was like, "You never pick us. You never pick
Oh,
us." And that was the year that the Giants went to the Super Bowl in
Yeah.
Indianapolis
That's
and
funny.
beat Tom Brady. Do I think that
Wow.
he'll be good? I think he won't hold back. I think that, I mean, he recently actually said that he doesn't say 90% of the things that he thinks.
And he will, you think?
I think he'll say more.
Aditi,
He's not had that kind of discipline.
Aditi, do you
don't
know
Yeah.
his sense of humor is legendary?
Oh,
like
yeah.
when you talk to players, because I don't know that. Maybe you've gotten to know him. I don't know that anybody really truly gets to know him except his family or his teammates, and I think that's by design.
Right.
But I worked with Teddy Bruschi forever, and they're like, he's funny.
Yeah.
He's a genuinely funny guy, and you wouldn't know that. I hope we get to see that part of Tom when he becomes a broadcaster, because my hope was, I hate to see him sign with one network. Here's what I wanted him to do: a revolutionary deal. He works for whatever network has the Super Bowl. So he year to
Every
year,
year.
he goes from Fox to CBS to, I want to see him in the Super Bowl, calling the Super Bowl every year, because who better to hear talk about the biggest game than the best player that's ever played in that game, Tom Brady. I'd watch that.
Do you like the simulcast? Do you on Monday
like
Night
watching
Football?
that.
Do you watch
Yeah.
Peyton and Eli? Do
Yeah, I
you-
It's
enjoy
the best
that.
thing on TV.
I agree with
agree.
Jay, though. He said recently, if it's the Browns game, I won't watch it just because I want to be more focused on the game.
Okay.
But otherwise, I like it. I do think they do too many interviews, though.
Okay.
I want to hear more from Peyton and Eli.
Do you
'cause
like
I
it,
enjoy
Aditi?
Right. I do, and I love it when Peyton's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing right
Yes,
there?"
that's
or look
great.
at this guy. Or
He
and
called
so
out
you're
the
seeing
Ravens
the game.
during a game. He's like,
Yeah.
He'd said a couple of plays earlier, they should never, ever play zone defense, ever. And he's telling Eli why. And then in the very next play, or a few plays later, they get burned for a touchdown. He goes, and that's why they should never play it. They're not good at it.
Right.
Nobody says that on a network broadcast.
What we're
course.
missing is, Tom Brady might be good, but the greatest of all time. I'm going to tell you this right now. As soon as he hangs it up, he's going to make a bucket load of money. It's Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is the #1 analyst in the game. His progressive commercials is good. He knows the game. He's interesting. He has a cult following. Baker, if it don't work at a quarterback,
Think so?
heck yeah.
It's a bad take, G. That's
I don't
terrible.
agree with
I
you.
was gonna say that,
I don't
Mikey.
agree with that.
I'm willing to watch him try right now.
I don't think I think some of those commercials are okay. Some of them he looks very stiff.
I think he's a good actor. I think
those
but
are
I
well
think
directed. I think they're just really well directed. You do a million takes with a guy like that.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's
now do
true.
it this way. Now do it this
well,
way.
and
and they're all
Progressive knows
cuts
how to
like-
do commercials.
And
Yeah.
the
I think
camera
that
loves
campaign's
Baker.
over now.
No, it's not.
it's
So
not?
no, I know somebody in the business, and this year's it's going to be a whole season, but it's really interesting.
Yeah.
So in week, you know how they would roll them out week by week?
Yeah,
You'd have new
sure.
ones? So in week 1, he comes to First Energy, and they've changed the locks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Actually has a good sense of humor.
He's
about
been
that.
he's been evicted.
Is you spilling the beans on this kid? like
You bought it,
I
Bull.
bought that.
Like,
I can't believe I bought that. I was like, there's no way you can
like,
okay with that.
bro.
You bought wanted to.
I'm the one who told you.
No.
Come on,
There's
bro.
another one where he's standing outside and he's trying to get the Wi-Fi, and Bernie comes up to him and he says, "We've changed the password, bro, and I can't give it to you."
I think they should.
That was
actually,
good.
He should
Jay's got another career in
That was good right
advertising.
I thought you were going to say they demoted him and he's doing it for the General now, the way worse insurance
Oh,
company.
those commercials are so
You know?
bad.
He's like with that guy. He's like, yeah, I'm with this guy now.
With
Yeah.
Shaq, and then and now they start hiring other people like Ernie Johnson's in one. They're trying to like class them up a little
sure.
bit,
Well,
and they
now-
even make fun of their old bad commercials.
One of those progressive commercials, he's like serving the nachos. Now he actually is the guy who's serving the nachos because that's his job. By the way,
Taking out the trash.
yes, exactly. Circling back to your chalk talk with Kevin Stefanski, I know a big talking point with a lot of fans is why won't Kevin Stefanski give up the play calling?
That was
And
a
he was
question.
asked about that.
He
yesterday.
was asked that, and he said, the single most important thing for him is to feel like he's helping the team. And he also said that play calling to some degree is overrated, that it's the work that goes in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that so much is already designed by the time you actually get to Sunday.
Yeah.
And he also insisted, and I have been told this by other coaches on that staff, that it really truly is collaborative. It's not that Kevin is sitting here and saying, we're going to do this. He will ask Bill Callahan, what do you think right here? He will ask Alex Van Pelt, what do you think
That's
right
the
here?
sign of a good coach.
And
Right.
in some ways, it's, not as much chatter. Sure, and the 15-play script is put together by all of them to start a game.
Yeah.
So,
Like Hugh Jackson, it was my way or the highway. He
right.
wasn't interested
This
in
is
input.
not how Kevin
Yeah,
is
right.
operating, and I think that, and I'm on the record having said, I like a head coach who is the CEO.
I agree with you 100%.
And runs everything
Yeah.
and is on top of everything. I don't love a coach, whether you're Mike Tomlin calling the defense or you're Kevin Stefanski calling the offense. Right. I'm not crazy about it, but I don't think that Kevin Stefanski does it in a way where it is really singularly just him.
But what about when the defense needs attention too?
Right.
And the offense is on the field. I hate that he can't let go of this steering wheel to go pay attention
And
to
that's
that
a
player.
piece
That's
of
what a
it,
head
right?
coach should
Because
do.
when the offense comes off the field, he's huddling with Callahan and
Sure.
AVP
And now
on
he's
the
not-
offense. And so who's managing
Right.
the defense over
Yeah,
there?
that's why I
like
do
the
think
coach who.
look at Bill Belichick. I mean, who calls their own play? Andy Reid doesn't call his own plays.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
He's involved in it, but
Yeah.
he has an offensive coordinator.
Man.
I think
I mean,
he calls
he's
the plays, though.
instituted. So I think to
Yeah.
your point that it's collaborative and you're putting in a game plan, I think Andy Reid's got his shirt sleeves rolled up all week long, and he's
Right.
devised.
Right.
He's the genius behind the offense. But Eric Bieniemy, I think that he's able to be overruled if Andy doesn't want to do something. You're going to listen to the genius.
But that's anybody.
Sure.
Even when,
Yeah, every head
and I'll
coach
go
can do
back
that.
to the Steelers. Mike Tomlin is a defensive guy. When Todd Haley would call something in a certain situation, Mike Tomlin always has the ability and would say, no, we're not going to do it. Or it's
Right.
the head coach
And you would
saying
hope he
we're
would
going
as
for
the
it on
head coach.
fourth or, yeah,
But every single
exactly.
play, you're in
Right.
the minutia at that
So
point.
why is the
Right.
title that important? Why does he
Well,
need
if
to
you
still
ask Bill
be there?
Belichick, titles don't matter.
Right. And I
Right?
think
He's not
that's
giving the
not-
title to any
right.
of his assistant coaches.
But I don't
right
think,
now.
and my sense is, and you know him a lot better than I do, that Kevin Stefanski doesn't care about the title, like that
Oh,
he's the
yeah.
play caller.
No,
And he, in fact, last night, I will say this, even though this is supposed to be a off-the-record event, he was so complimentary of Alex Van Pelt, his offensive coordinator, and just talked
Oh, we
about
can't
how
have that
valuable
yet
he
now.
is. And
You know that big secret that he likes his offense. That he likes his scoring?
No, but I just mean
Right. No, I know what you mean.
the fact that, AVP played in the league for a long time. He was a great
Yeah.
Pitt quarterback. He actually is the one that set all of the Pitt records, not Dan Marino. So when Kenny Pickett broke them this year, he was breaking AVP's records. And so it's that authority to say, hey, I remember this time when I was in this game against this team. But then also the way that, look, AVP is a magic man. He has dealt with Aaron Rodgers. He has dealt with Baker Mayfield.
He's seen it all.
I think one of the things that people are so married to calling plays is we're all up here. We all do talk and we do different things, right? We talk for a living. You don't want to give up what your bread and butter is. You're known for play calling.
Right.
That is your forte. So why would you go out and because if you don't perform, you're gonna get fired, right? I'm going out swinging, calling my plays, not your plays.
Yeah.
That's such a smart thing to say, too, because I remember when Mike Zimmer got the job in Minnesota, and Mike Zimmer was this brilliant, is a brilliant defensive mind. He had been a longtime defensive coordinator.
Yep.
He told me, I'm going to call the plays on defense because it's my piece of credibility. When I get in that room, those players know this is what I know,
Is it
and
different,
I earn
though,
that.
Aditi, whether it's the defense or the offense? It seems to me that it is. I think that because defense is reactionary, right?
A little bit, sure.
So you can call a play, and you can hope that it fits what the offense is called. and
Well,
that
you
you're
respond,
successful.
right.
But to me, the driving force of a football game is what the offense decides to do on any given play. It just, to me, I don't want to diminish the defensive coordinator's role, but at the end of the day, the players are reacting to what the other guys are doing. On offense, you're making the defense react to what you're doing. You can be more aggressive.
Fair, but I think especially in the AFC North, certain defenses, the personnel that you put in really puts the offense in a bind.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
And is
Yeah.
Wink Martindale calling a blitz or not? And Wink is gone now, but I mean, obviously he was calling a blitz all the time for the Ravens. Is the pressure, where is the pressure coming from? Is the safety blitzing or not? I think that there's a little bit more. I think you make a very fair point. But I don't know. This is why we get paid to talk about it.
But ultimately, you could argue, though, that if the defensive coordinator is not that important, then it's okay for Kevin Stefanski to leave that job to Joe Woods, let him do his thing, and just focus on the more important part, the
Don't
offense.
misunderstand me. I don't say the defensive coordinator is not that important.
Or
I'm
not
just
as
saying,
important,
I'm
maybe.
saying that if you're Bill Belichick and
Yeah.
you want to have your hands deep into the defense, okay, I get it. Zimmer, I get it. Tomlin, I get it. The gurus that have made their chops on offense, when they become the head coach, I just think it takes a little more attention. And I'm probably wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've never been in that huddle, so I don't know. But to me, as a fan watching, I feel like you have more control over a game as an offensive coordinator because you're dictating what's going on than you do as a defensive coordinator, because you could call a blitz. But if the offense has blitz pickup package and they slide protect or a tight end comes over, you're still responding and reacting to what the offense is doing.
That's fair, but again, I go back to the idea that I think the CEO head coach is the best bet. I mean, you look at Green Bay a year ago, right? And Matt LaFleur calls the offense. He's all about the offense. Their special teams fell apart. Are you as aware of who needs extra help?
Yeah.
What unit needs some, whether it's coddling or whether it's, lighting a fire or whatever it may be? I just like that model.
Especially when you're an inexperienced head coach to begin with.
But yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what we keep seeing is we
Yeah.
see these
so-
young coaches in their first head coaching roles calling offenses.
Just like with the quarterback, I think when you go to the head coach, right? You got the head coach and you got the quarterback. A lot of what you call is run through a quarterback. So a quarterback, you can have a play call in, but the quarterback says, I'm going to audible. You can have a play call in, but you have different route combinations. Maybe
Yeah.
I've been keeping back in. So a lot of what you are calling depends on, do you have a competent quarterback? How savvy is he? And how well does he know the game plan?
Right.
And then you look great.
Well, that's also why it drives me crazy sometimes when fans or even media members will complain about one specific play call, because you never know what was called.
Right.
Right. If you
Particularly when the quarterback checks out of it.
Exactly. Like if you're
And
angry
you're
about a
never
general.
going to get anybody to admit it on
Exactly.
the record
No.
that was supposed to be a run play. But I mean, I remember a few years ago there was something like that where a quarterback threw an interception in the end zone and then went on the radio and said he shouldn't have thrown to that receiver. He should have thrown to a different receiver, and it created all this drama. But the truth was, it should have been a run play. He should have handed the ball off.
Right.
So
It's on topic, but a little different. I have a theory that these guys kill me for. We talked about it again yesterday.
Oh, it's
So-
coming.
You'll probably kill me for it too.
setup right
But
there,
listen,
right?
I already know
what
what's
am I supposed
coming.
to
I
do
want
right
your
now?
honest opinion. If you think I'm an idiot, tell me. They have no problem
But I
telling
just
me
met
that.
you. I don't want to tell you that. You're the first time
I
I
give
meet
you license to call me an idiot if this is an idiot theory.
Take
You can
advantage
call him
of
an idiot,
this.
Aditi.
Please take
Oh,
advantage of
okay,
this.
all right.
That's granted.
Mikey does all the time. So my theory is that with Baker Mayfield set to make $18 million, whatever that final number is, they haven't moved him. I believe there is a scenario. I'm not saying it's the most likely scenario, but I believe that we shouldn't discount the possibility that Baker Mayfield plays for the Browns again. Now, before you kill me on that, I would only say, let me give you the scenario. Deshaun gets a lengthy suspension before the season starts. I know the offense is different between what Mayfield would do and what Jacoby Brissett would do, but you're paying your total quarterbacks between Watson and Baker $20 million this year. It seems to me the Browns would rather keep him as an insurance policy rather than give him up and pay a large portion of his salary to play for someone else. Am I completely wrong? Is there a 0% chance that happens?
I feel like we keep talking about this.
Yes, I asked you about it
Anything
last
in
week.
life is possible, but no, I do not see that happening.
But you're saying there's a chance.
I see it.
But you're saying there's a chance.
Because there's a chance for anything,
Okay,
right?
so
There's
take
a
us
chance I could
inside.
grow
What do
purple
you
hair
know?
tomorrow.
Is this relationship absolutely napalmed? Like do you know something there that we might not know?
I just think it behooves all parties, and all parties recognize that, to move Baker Mayfield. The Browns will need to pick up part of that salary. What that number is what's sort of at question, and you have a lot of different people that will have input on that.
Sure.
Because
what do you think they're willing to pay? Are they willing to pick up half? Because
I think they're going to have to pick up half.
The reports were they wanted to pick up none of it. That's absurd.
That's crazy.
Well, you know what, and this is, with all due respect, you can have ownership have a feeling about something, you can have a general manager have a feeling about something, you can have a head coach have a feeling about something. And I think ownership will always feel this is a former first overall pick, he's worth something. And I think that the GM is going to sit here and say, well, I don't need to give him away for anything, for nothing, because we're not even playing right now. And what if a quarterback wakes up hurt tomorrow? Or what if, that there is value. This is a guy that has demonstrated success in the National Football League in 2020. And I talked to several teams that felt before the draft he was better than any quarterback in the draft.
I'm going to reluctantly say something in support of Jay's point, and that is this. I've been thinking about this, and it really does. If you take a step back, we look at it, obviously, it's a football situation. I hate when dudes call into the station and be like, hey, if I got paid $11 million to do my job, landscaping, I wouldn't complain. Like, nobody's paying you. You're not worth it. You don't have any skills. Whatever. Let's just get that over with.
Dang. Just kill his Indeed.
Your jobs are different. Whenever you're trying to compare, careers, it's so stupid. It's so embarrassing. But I will say this. Imagine this. You've got this guy on the roster who probably offers you the best chance at coming into some of these games in the beginning of the year. If
Not
Watson,
probably, he does.
He does. If Watson, you're paying him. He's proven. Now, yes, is it going to make some of the guys sad and uncomfortable that he's out there? Is it confusing and whatnot? Yeah, but the guy, go out and do your job. If that's the best person to go out and do your job for a few games before you can get your real guy in there, I mean, is it really? We're just like, but what if the tight ends get sad or?
Well, so hold on. Listen, I'm gonna give y'all a reality check. Aditi knows this as a woman. When a woman is fed up and she's done, she's done.
Well, are you calling Baker a woman, or are you calling the Browns a woman?
No, I'm saying that people know when they are finished, when you understand what you want to do. Yeah. Colin Kaepernick gave people a great opportunity, right? He was a good quarterback. He was better than people coming out of the draft. You know what people said? Keep that. I don't want that.
And they were stupid to do it.
I don't want it. And 32 teams said we're not going to do it. If you bring Baker Mayfield back into the locker room, it is a lose-lose. The worst case scenario is he goes 4-0. Do you know how many people in this city would say, hey.
Yeah, but it's a business. You want to be 4-0.
No,
Jimmy Watson, thanks.
No. Then the organization is absolutely lambasted
it's a
for going
dumpster
out and
fire
getting
against
Deshaun Watson and spending that money.
Yeah.
That's the least reason.
Oh,
we
no,
don't
4
take that
wins.
into
You guys are missing. You're all missing the biggest point. When has Baker Mayfield ever shown you the maturity that would lead you to believe
when
he would
is his
handle
professional
this well?
career hung in the balance?
Right.
That's where it is right now.
But that's I'm not just going to assume because that's the case that he's going to be act like an adult. He's never acted like an adult.
It kind of in your scenario, G, everybody wins. Here's why. I'm not bitching about anything if we're 4-0. Great. With Deshaun, we're going to be amazing. We know Deshaun's a better quarterback.
But the Baker Bros
if we're
want to
4-0,
trade Deshaun at that point.
So what? At that point, who cares? You're 4-0, and you know what?
Yeah.
You've got the one up now. You can say, I told you I was right about Baker.
Right.
So they're happy. Yeah. All the fans are happy. We're 4-0. The Browns are happy because the trade market for Baker just skyrocketed.
Actually, it doesn't.
It's a 4-game audition. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
If he can come in and prove that he's mature, to your point, that's what he's
He only has 1 year, $18 million. Say he goes 4-0. He's going to be a free agent after last year.
Do a sign and trade.
Are you
do
going
a sign and trade,
Are you going to give up anything for him? No, you'll just say, I'll wait and pay him.
I will say I think you're both wrong. Well, I don't know exactly what you're saying. I don't agree that
I'm wrong.
I don't agree that his value skyrockets.
See?
But I do think it goes up a little.
Okay, even if it
goes up a little.
Forget his trade value. It absolutely
Yeah.
goes up. If he comes
Yeah.
in and plays and he's 0-4,
Yeah, I don't buy
it's plummets.
skyrocketing, but I do
This
think
is
it's
ridiculous. It's not happening.
I know it's not, but we're talking
not
about it.
happening.
We've
That's
got
it.
2 hours to fill.
We're,
so
arguing,
talk about
we're
stuff like
arguing
that.
about superheroes playing football later on, too.
Yeah.
That's not happening
So,
either.
yeah, get
That's
ready.
kind of what we do around
How
here.
do you know it's not going to happen?
You're right, you
Maybe
never
there
know.
really are superheroes.
Hey,
We just
Jay.
don't know about
Yeah.
them.
We don't have to
Seriously.
go to break. Check this out. We got Leroy right now.
Leroy's on.
He wants to talk Baker. Let's let him go.
Leroy Hoard, welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Former running back of the Browns in the 90s, a dear friend of mine, and
There he is.
beloved Cleveland Brown. Did they
He
not
looks
love
like he can
Leroy
still
Hoard?
play.
Leroy Hoard.
He looks like he can still play.
Listen, he is a beast.
No.
No, he can't. Leroy Hoard says he cannot play.
No, sir.
Why?
Playing no more football.
Why not?
Football has kicked my ass. I'm done.
He's done.
So, Leroy, jump in on this Baker talk. Am I nuts? Tell me I'm nuts. I'm used to it.
No. Here's the deal. I don't care what you've done before or now. Your job is to win football games. And if any point in time you leave yourself vulnerable to pay $230 million to one quarterback, $19 million to another quarterback, and you put somebody in a game that you know is not better than either one of those, shame on you as a franchise.
Thank you, Leroy Hoard.
Exactly.
Thank you, Leroy Hoard.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, but
Now-
Leroy, do you think Baker will accept that and be okay with playing, or will he's shown a lot
What are
of
his options?
immaturity this whole
Don't
time?
Grow
Right.
up, Peter Pan.
There you go.
Like,
Grow up.
I don't know what everybody thinks this world is. He's to a point in his career. And now keep in mind, I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. I think he hurt himself trying to play injured last year because
no
he was
question.
already there was already a lot of questions. And as a football player, every situation that I've been in where I've sucked it up and played hurt, it cost me. But we look at these athletes and say, you gotta go. Why? So let's pay attention to where that issue is going in sports. That if a guy's not 100%, he's not gonna play, because if you look around the landscape of professional sports, all it does is hurt you.
So let me ask you this, Leroy. Couldn't someone with the Browns been the adult in the room and stepped up and said, we're making the decision. We have seen what you are with our own eyes. You're not the same guy. Go get surgery. We'll play it out without you. Why couldn't that have
One
happened?
would think, we always think, and here's what I say about organizations. When you have an injury, it is the medical department and the organization to keep you out of your own way. Okay? But clearly, they thought Baker was the best option, which is fine. Then don't penalize him for it. Now let's take it a step further. Here's what I will say about the Deshaun Watson thing. It is also the organization's responsibility to put the best team on the field possible. There is no doubt in my mind that I think that Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback. Right?
Yeah, I don't think
pretty
no
much.
arguments
Just based
here.
on what they've
Not
done.
even close. Yeah.
No
So
arguments.
So when I say, Baker, put your big boy pants on, understand what the organization is trying to do. It's not a knock on you or a slight on you. They trying to win the Super Bowl. And that opportunity presented itself. And so they took advantage of it. You don't have to apologize to Baker. This is a professional
Damn right.
business.
That's right.
Okay? That being said, Baker also has to be a professional and think, wow, I might have an opportunity here to go out here and show these guys, now that I'm healthy, I can play. Make it hard on them. And I'll give you a perfect example. My second year, I just started playing. I had myself a year. Boy, I was ready. They redid my contract, right? The next preseason, I hurt my knee. And I was out for a few weeks, and then I came back and I was struggling. I couldn't, but I could contribute. The next year they came to me after they drafted Tommy Vardell and said, yo, give us some of that money back. Right? You didn't have that good a year last year. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I don't understand You asked me to suck it up and play, and now you're penalizing me for it. That being said, I was a pro. I went out there. Tommy Vardell got hurt. I ended up going to the Pro Bowl. Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'd handled myself like a child and not like an adult, then I would have went into that season with a woe is me, I'm getting screwed, this is the situation, and I wouldn't have been ready for that opportunity. So, although I understand that to some extent Baker's getting a tough rap, because of what he did last year and who they brought in, who is a better quarterback, you may get an opportunity to prove everybody wrong, even if it's a short period of time. Now, it's time for Baker to be a grown-up in the Cleveland Browns. Because I'm going to tell you, if I'm a fan, don't put a quarterback in there that can't win just to prove a point. I want to win football games. It's your job to win football games. Suck it up, go to Baker and say, here's what the deal is. And it's time for Baker to be a grown man and say, I get it. I'm going to go out there and ball for y'all, until which case I can go on and do it wherever I need to do it.
Let me ask you this question,
Am I being ridiculous for expecting people to be adults in this situation?
It's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous at all, but I think Baker is immature and will not handle it the way he says.
Hold on.
Not ridiculous.
Really
quickly. So was I till I got cut. real fast.
So
Yeah.
Till they came and tried to get some money back.
Nothing makes you grow up like being asked to replace one.
I had already spent that money. What you talking about?
I think they've already, but they've been keeping the same energy, right? So they did the same thing with Odell Beckham Jr. They said, okay, you want to go somewhere else? We'll accommodate that. We'll get you up out of here. They did that during the season. I'm confused why people feel like it's a different story with Baker. They can do the same thing.
Because there's one quarterback that can play it at any given time.
But it's about, can you play?
Can he?
Can you play?
Can Baker play?
Can Odell Beckham Jr. play?
Yes, but there were other wide receivers.
No. But you guys are saying you put the best team on the field to win the football game.
That is a fair point.
And they got rid of a player that could have made them
That's
better
a fair point.
because it was not in the best long-term interest of the team.
Long-term, yeah.
And guess what?
Here's a difference, though. Here's a difference. You can have a great wide receiver and him not be effective, right?
Yeah, with a bad quarterback.
You can't have an average quarterback and your team still have a ton of success. At some point, that position has to perform.
Well, to Aditi just made the point a minute ago that
we're
Ben
talking
made the
about
receivers better in Pittsburgh.
We're talking about a receiver, right? And here's the deal with how that all works. I can get, as an offensive coordinator, I can get any receiver I want open. Don't kid yourself. Now, when you go into a game, everybody on that team can look across the field if you have studied your film, look at the defense, and have an idea of what's going to happen during the course of that play. So a lot of times when you talk about quarterbacks and receivers and running backs being on the same page, everybody's on that same page where they kind of have an idea of what's happening. When that doesn't happen, a lot of times receivers and quarterbacks and coaches get into it simply because this is the preparation we put into this game. This is what we expected. Why are we throwing a 2-yard pass when this play was supposed to be a shot play down the field and the receiver's running open? Now, you can go about it one of two ways. And this is usually how it goes. You can say, hey, these receivers are divas. Or you can look at your quarterback and say, we need to do better prep. We need to do what we talked about during practice and go from there. And that is the dynamic that a lot of people don't understand when receivers come off the field or when receivers have a problem with what's going on the field. Now, there was something going on between Baker and Odell.
Clearly.
And I don't really know what it is. Maybe he
His
missed
dad
him too
made a
many
really
times.
good PowerPoint if you need some reference.
Something about being open.
That didn't help.
No.
Right.
But I think the riff was already there.
Because here, you know what, and all I can do is this, is anytime I see situations like this, I think of when I played. And I remember we brought in Andre Rison. And Andre Rison had been in Atlanta catching 100-plus balls. And you all know 100-plus balls in Atlanta is 70 balls in Cleveland.
Yes.
That's just the way it is. Like, that's the way it's always been, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he came here and he only had 70 catches, everybody was asking what's wrong with him. And it kind of rubbed him the wrong way. So if we want guys to be on a good team and we just want them to let it ride, then why do we go to Odell Beckham and ask him what the problem is because he only had 2 catches?
That's a very fair point.
Of course he's going to defend himself. I would defend myself. Now, he doesn't do it, some guys have a way of doing it to where they're not squashing anybody. Yeah. He wasn't he wasn't that nice.
Right.
So it caused a problem. Yeah. It did.
Whenever you get your dad involved, it's not good.
Yeah, clearly. Can we ask Leroy before he goes what he thinks about Chubb and Hunt on the field together?
Yes,
That's a running back's perspective on that.
First of all, we got to see put the picture up of him again, guys, because look at the shoulder pads that he was wearing when he played compared to you would have been either. I mean, these guys don't even look like they're wearing shoulder pads anymore. Your shoulder pads look like they're a huge box on your body. Look at that. Look at the size of those shoulder pads. And now these guys got nothing.
Yeah. Look, so one time we were getting ready for a game, and I ran onto the field, and Bill said to me, because I had elbow pads, I had pads right here. I went to a store and bought hockey shin pads because everybody used to hit me in the legs. He goes, Bill says, "Hey, Hoard, you got enough pads?" I said, "There's more. Where they at?" I'm telling you, I was an armored vehicle when I went out and played football because of the pounding I took. And so you just go with it.
Yeah.
Those pads were made for my protection, and I'm gonna take advantage of it.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Were you gonna go to the bench press, or I mean the?
Well, yeah, Aditi was bringing it up too.
Squat.
Yeah. I mean,
did you see Leroy when I think it was last week? Nick Chubb posted a video of him squatting 675 pounds. Did you see that?
Yep, good for him.
What do you what do you make of it though? What was your high? Because you were a big running back.
Yeah.
Strong guy in the weight room. Is that a lot of weight for a running back? Is that mind blowing?
Yeah, that's a lot of weight for anybody. Jay, what the hell you think 675 pounds look like?
It's a motorcycle. It's a motorcycle.
You're making it sound like you can go to LA Fitness and some meathead is just putting 675 on his shoulders and getting in a set.
We had G. Bush next to us say that he did 585 or something, and I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like it's off the charts.
He played college football. He's defensive lineman.
He acted like people just grow on trees. That's ignorantly strong. I don't want Nick Chubb next to me. He might do some.
They used to ask me during the season, hey, some guys did legs during the season, and they say, hey, we're gonna get a leg workout in. I say, I do legs on Sunday. I'm like, no.
For 3 hours, I do legs on Sunday.
Hey, I had all them pads on. I had to be loose. I couldn't be up in there all tight, rocked up. Like,
he was squatting 85 pounds just in those pads every time he stood up.
Hey, for those that don't know,
just
Leroy,
imagine how fast I would look if I wore what they wore now.
Yeah,
no kidding. What are you up to these days for Browns fans that don't know?
So I do my radio show down here in Miami, 6 to 10 in the morning. And other than that, I try to get up to Cleveland, and Jay, I come up there and see you.
Yeah.
I know.
Try to be up there when I can. I'm a Cleveland Brown. Yeah. Like it's amazing.
Woo! Yes, he is.
I played more and had more success in Minnesota But for some reason, I'm a Cleveland Brown, and I just ride with it. I'm I pay attention. I come up there when I can to try and see what's going on. I'm a fan, and so I want, as a fan, I want the Cleveland Browns to do well. There is nothing that excited me more than to watch the Cleveland Browns beat the hell out of the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs. I couldn't get enough of it. And then to top that off, Michigan beat the hell out of Ohio State. What a great year!
For that one.
Well, listen, every 15 years, every 15 years we let you guys feel important.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Everybody had their John Cooper years, because we used to beat the hell out of y'all too. So let's not make it sound like it's been that way. I mean, in fact,
how's Rich Rodriguez doing these days?
The records are pretty even.
How's Rich
even
Rod?
with the way y'all have dominated the last few years.
Yeah, if you go back for the 120 years,
The scores were like 4-2.
The last 20 years, you guys are peasants.
Hey, we ain't have a coach punching people out.
Okay.
Be careful.
You got me on that one.
Hey, Leroy,
You got me on that one.
I know this has been talked about, obviously, but I think it's important to bring it up again, because for all the guys who played on the 95 team, it was obviously very emotional that year, obviously what the fans were going through. You're looking at me like
No. I'm about to get sad. Go ahead.
So when you think of that team and what happened and the heartbreak of the fans, and I mean, we've seen other teams move, but I feel like I've never seen a reaction from players like the Browns in 95. When you think about that, what comes to mind first?
The timing of it all. I mean, the Browns did a Browns thing and announced they were leaving after we were 4-1, and then wonder why the season went awry. But the thing about that whole situation is that we didn't know what to do. Like, nobody had to deal with, the team's leaving at the end of the year, in the middle of the season.
Right.
Nobody had to deal with that. And so we had just gone to the second round of playoffs. We had a good start. We were like 4-1, 4-2. We were either on top of the division or pretty close. And then this hit us, right? Things went awry. Belichick got fired, and next thing you know, I was in Baltimore. And I can't. It's hard to explain to people what it feels like when, even to this day, I don't know what I could have done about it. Because I tell you what, whoever y'all work for, whatever y'all do in life, if your boss tell you, if you want your next check, it's going to be in Baltimore, guess what? Right? And that's the reality of it. We didn't have a say-so in it. It's unfortunate because in the end, all the stuff that happened, the players took the brunt of it. Nobody went to the games. When they did go to the games, they wanted to boo the owner, and he wasn't even there. So we took the brunt of it, and I think we tried to do the best that we could to kind of fight through it. But in the end, it probably got to us a little more than it really should have.
And things went sideways after that. What do you have a?
Yeah, you know what? I tell Browns fans all the time, that situation there, with where Bill Belichick ended up, and where a lot of us ended up, and where my career ended up, I tell Browns fans all the time, be patient. Please be patient.
Oh, we're patient.
Don't be so quick to be rats off a ship on a situation. You got to start letting things play out, because one of the signs of a bad organization and fan base, and I know Cleveland's not a bad fan base, they're one of the best, is impatience. You look at all the organizations that have had struggles, that have not been able to get back to where they were, and you look at all the changes made, all the players move, all the player movement, it's impatience.
We're the anti-Steelers. The Steelers are the most patient organization. That's why they've hired 3 coaches in my entire lifetime.
The whole division, really.
Their
Right.
fan base.
And guess what? And even when we've seen players that we thought weren't good for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they still had success. Something to be said about that.
You're right. Hey, what's your best Bill Belichick story?
So
He had it ready.
Yeah.
I have a few. If you notice, Bill Belichick doesn't break up fights because when he first came to Cleveland, we were still practicing in Menor that first year, and he tried to break up a fight and got hit. I mean,
really?
cold cocked.
Did that guy get cut?
No, but he said, I ain't breaking up no more fights. But if you guys get hurt, the guy that did the hurting and the guy that's hurt, y'all both gonna be suspended till y'all both could play. So we were playing New England in '95 in the playoff game. And we were down, and I think we were in the red zone, and it was, there wasn't a lot of scoring, so it was heated, and we call a timeout. So it's me, Eric Metcalf, Vinny Testaverde. We come over the sideline, Bill going over his thing. And the one thing about Bill is he is probably one of the most detailed human beings I've ever come across in my life. Like he could tell every person on the football field something about the guy that he was going against.
Wow.
That would help you either block that guy, run a route against that guy, defend that guy, and he would just go around the field and just talk to people and let them know what was going on. So it was amazing to be a part of that. Coming to the sidelines, he's explaining to Vinny. He says something to Eric. He says something to me. They blow the whistle to go back on the field. And he yells, "Hey, Vinny, don't screw it up like you did against Pittsburgh." So me and Eric, now this is a playoff game. Me and Eric turn around and we're laughing going into the huddle.
Wow.
Like, it's intense. It's loud. And me and Eric are laughing. It looks like he's like, he could deliver the worst news as matter of fact. It's just like, he told a guy one time, he says, "Hey, if you practice like that this evening, you won't be here tomorrow." And guess what?
He wasn't.
He practiced like that again, and I never saw him again.
Didn't he call and cut a guy on Christmas Day? Did I make that up? I think he did.
I don't know, but
We've
guess
heard stories
what?
like that, but
Yeah,
Probably.
I think he did.
But guess what? Football doesn't have holidays.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fans have holidays.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
so true.
when it's Thanksgiving on that Thursday, you think about turkey or something. You know what our holiday practice schedule was? If practice started at 9, we start at 7, so you could get out 2 hours early.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
Pre-practice. Oh.
Like,
Yeah,
so,
it's a tough
and
life.
that's everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the only and think about this, Jay. The only way I knew when Thanksgiving was is because the Michigan-Ohio State game used to be the Saturday before Thanksgiving.
That's true.
Like sports is different like that in that you don't think of holidays as spending time with your family. You look at the holiday schedule and hope you're on prime time.
LeBron hasn't had a Christmas since like 1994.
His
something like
family's
that.
doing okay.
Yeah, right.
Every day's Christmas
Right.
for LeBron.
Like-
Yeah.
That's true.
And that's fine. That's the nature of the beast. If you are playing on these holidays, right, then you're doing something right.
Yeah.
I remember when I was at Michigan, I went to 3 Rose Bowls, and you leave on Christmas Day, you go out there for a week, and you play. We played in the Hall of Fame game one time, and the travel schedule screwed us up. We're like, wait, we're not traveling on Christmas? Say no. Bo said that's what happens when you lose the Big Ten championship. When you don't win the Big Ten.
No Christmas for you.
You gotta play the week in between Christmas and the New Year's.
Leroy, Mikey McNuggets, our producer, has a question for you. Go ahead, Mikey.
Hey, Leroy. Steve Becker's our
Is your
EP.
name Mikey McNugget?
It's a work in progress.
That's his
right?
nickname.
It's a work in
That's his
progress.
That's his Christian name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's him
All
now.
right.
Yeah, so Steve's our EP, and when he texts me a question, he pays my check, so I got to make sure we ask it. But last
All
week
right.
on the show, Jay called the big house a toilet bowl,
Ooh, yeah.
It is.
and I just was curious how you'd like to respond to that.
Thanks, Steve.
He's a
Listen,
Michigan fan, Steve, too. So
I would just say to Jay, after that butt whipping y'all took this past year, give it a rest. Take it. You know what? Go in the corner and take a timeout.
You know your
Take a timeout.
You know your stadium
You can't
sucks.
talk trash to me. You can't talk trash about Michigan after what just happened. You got
It's 1 win in 15
364
years.
days to take a break.
It's 1 win in 15 years.
You only
Congratulations.
That's fine.
Congratulations.
But guess what?
Harbaugh's
it
going
was
to
a
get
good one.
Harbaugh's going to
It
get
was a
80
good
dropped
one.
on him. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a great game.
was.
You had a great team.
Yeah.
I give you all the credit in the world, but I'm telling you, Harbaugh better watch out because this year, this Ohio State offense, once again, will probably have 3 wide receivers in the top 15 down the road. That's just what we do. And we've got a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback and running back. It's going to be ugly this year.
Yeah. All right.
He's got nothing.
All right.
Hey,
Get the reschedule.
you guys need to have a wager. Are we gonna do a wager here? Y'all talking a bunch
Yeah, a
of
lot of
noise.
trash being talked.
You talking a lot of noise. You guys need to get on the phones and do a nice little wager.
Name
Put
it.
something on the line right now.
So
Name it.
You ready for this one? So I'm really good friends with Robert Smith because we played together and we're
Robert's
good
an
friends.
awesome guy.
Yeah. And we used to have a bet every year. So one year I was feeling a little froggy, and we had a bet. The loser had to wear the other guy's jersey for a day.
Can we do that? Can we facilitate that?
You know, look, I'll do that. That's so standard and cliche. I'll do it, whatever. That's fine.
Oh, no, I'm gonna think of something creative.
Yes.
You
I'm
think
thinking
about
something
it for a
creative.
week.
Yeah.
And we've got to go, and before
Real
we let
quick,
you go,
I got to ask you
okay,
one quick
go ahead,
thing.
go ahead.
There's a famous quote attributed to you, but nobody's sure if you actually said it or not. You know what I'm getting at?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll say it
Yes.
for those who don't know. That supposedly you said, hey, if you need 1 yard, I'll get you 3 yards. If you need 5 yards, I'll get you 3 yards. Did you actually say that, or has that just been given to you as something that was funny
Yes.
to say?
So for reasons I can't explain,
Yeah.
when you have the production meetings, they always want the starters in there,
Yeah.
right? But John Madden liked me.
Yeah.
I was on all Madden team, and I was the backup running back in Minnesota. So let's go.
Because you played hard.
So he would, when we go into these production meetings, everybody would always ask, you can still play, but why are you okay with this role? And I said, you have to fool yourself in being able to go and do your job, even though you maybe wish you could do more. And so one of the things that I would say that, say about it is that, look, I know what my role is on this team. And so then I went and said that.
Great line.
And they all looked at me like I was crazy, and I was being serious.
That's the best line.
It's the only thing athletes can do to settle into a role that you have on a team, even if you believe you should have a bigger role. That if you spend your life looking for that bigger role and you don't handle the task at hand, you're never going to get that bigger role. And so I used to always say things, like that. I used to say it to my coaches. He would say, "Hey, we need you to do 2 minutes a day." That's not my thing. Not my thing. Y'all don't ask me to do that. And everybody used to say, "It's you being difficult." And it's like, no, it's not. It's me being the best version of what they want me to be. And that's why I said it. I didn't mean it seriously. And then next thing you know, I could walk down the street and everybody yells it at me. I'm like, I didn't know it was going to have
It
that
is a
much
great
legs.
quote.
But
Solid line.
Hey, before we let you go, I want to tell the quick story. He was in town last football season. We're eating dinner at Johnny's, the Italian place downtown. Leroy's eyesight isn't what it used to be. So there's a big group of us, and he's taking group pictures, and he's going to drop them to the group, airdrop them.
Yeah.
And Bernie Kosar was there, and so we had a big table of people. And so he's sending to him airdrop.
Yeah.
And everybody at the table got them, and I go, Leroy, I don't have them. He's like, hell, you don't have them? I sent them to you. I go, no, you didn't. He goes, well, let me do it again. So he's airdropping me like 10 pictures. And I'm looking at my phone and I'm getting nothing. So I'm looking across the restaurant and I see this like 70-year-old woman looking at her phone and she's like, oh my God, this is Bernie Kosar. And she's showing everybody at the table. So, and I see her, and I go, Leroy, you're an idiot. So I asked the woman, I go, stand up, come over here, please. So she came over, she was the sweetest lady. She's like, oh my God. I go, what's happening over there? She goes, I'm just getting these random pictures of Leroy Hoard and Bernie Kosar, and I don't know what's going on. I go, ma'am, what's your name? And she goes, Jane. He's airdropping all these pictures to Jane's iPhone.
Yeah. You're lucky that's all you sent her. That could have gotten. You know what I mean?
It's a good thing.
You go too deep into that archive, you could have gone south real quick.
Swipe left one too many times. Whoa!
I said, Jay, I'm sending the picture. Look, everybody else is getting them. Turn your phone on.
He said it's my fault too. He's like, you're an idiot with technology. It's my fault.
Right.
And Jane's over there going, I swear to God, it's Bernie Kosar.
Bernie Kosar's throwing game at me from across the restaurant.
So they all came over to our table. We had a good laugh, and I just wanted to share that story because every time I tell it, it makes people laugh because they know Leroy and they know his sense of humor. Hey, you're going to come back and join us pretty regularly, aren't you?
Yeah. Hey, check this out. I need one of them seats right next to y'all.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Hop
So
in.
when you're in
When I come up to Cleveland, maybe on a Monday, I'll stay and
Nice.
and do it.
done deal.
All right, man.
Be
We will
great.
sa- we will
Are you,
save
are you
this
sure
chair.
you can handle it, Buckeye?
Yeah.
Bring it. Bring it. You guys win one game and all of a sudden you're whatever. Leroy, you know we love
Have
you.
his moment.
Talk
Let him
soon.
have his
Give it
moment.
to
All right, Leroy, man.
Well done,
appreciate it, man.
Leroy. Well done.
Alrighty.
To you. Well done.
Alrighty.
Leroy Bad Eyes Hoard.
Bye.
All right, we're going to take a break on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. When we come back, where are we going, Mike?
Judge Jay.
Judge Jay.
So
I gotta
Jay's
got to
go and get dressed.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right,
Nice.
see you in a second.
Sweet.
Hi, my name is Jay Crawford. I'm a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. My favorite all-time Cleveland sports moment, you're not going to believe this, it was Rajay Davis's home run in Game 7 that tied the score.
My favorite Cleveland sports moment would have to be the Kyrie Irving 2016 shot. It's the only time that I've ever cried over any sporting event.
And my ultimate Cleveland memory is when the Cavs won the championship and the day of the parade. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life.
What matters most to me is family. Sometimes you don't realize how important it is until you're away from them.
What matters most to Jay? His family. He is a big family man. What matters most to me? My family, my safety, your safety.
I think the thing that most impresses me about Betsy is her versatility. Give her any assignment that involves going in front of a television camera, and she's going to knock it out of the park.
What's new with Betsy and Jay? Weekdays at 5 on 3. Recognize that feeling? It is the feeling of being together, enjoying the company of a familiar face, and sharing moments that matter to you, to me, to us. What matters to some could impact all of us, especially in a place like Northeast Ohio. Here, stories are shared from east to west to south. Stories of perseverance, of family, of love. If a story brings us together, it's what matters most.
Hi, my name is Jay Crawford. I am a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. I have carried my fandom every city I've ever lived in. People have always asked me, why are you so diehard about Cleveland? It's because I'm from here. And we know how much our teams mean to us. Most of us know that because of our parents. In my case, my father was just a huge Cleveland sports fan. It was really part of our life. It was woven into everything we did. And it was our connection throughout his life.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Jay.
All right.
Right.
Hold
There
on.
it is. Oh, you're
Hold on.
fella.
You may be seated.
Pillow.
You may be seated.
Thank you.
Please take a seat.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Aditi, welcome to Judge Jay's courtroom.
right.
I run a tight ship.
Is
I'll
there
tell
a
you that
bailiff?
right now.
Is there a bailiff here?
There was.
What happened to him?
We don't have
forced
6
to not
months.
use
gone. He's got COVID,
We
I
traded
think.
Aditi for the bailiff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Anthony, I love you, but man, we got the better end of that deal. Okay, I know you've been sworn. I've read your complaints. We've got a fairly full docket, so let's go to the court reporter. What are we starting with?
At this exact moment in time, would you rather have Baker Mayfield or Drew Brees as your starting quarterback for 6 to 8 weeks if Deshaun Watson is suspended?
I told you we deal in hypotheticals.
Almost exclusively.
Yeah.
Wait, but who is the you? Is the you the Cleveland Browns, or is the you any random
Like the Browns.
imaginary team?
This is where it runs on its imagination, Aditi. You could take this if you're
Wherever you want.
Anywhere
You're
you
a
want to go.
Browns fan.
This is a judge court.
And I'll make a
Notice
ruling
how he
on
just
that.
decreed
I'm going to make a
that.
ruling on her question, because
Yeah.
that's a fair question.
Yeah.
You're a Browns fan. You just heard that Drew Brees axed by NBC or leaving on his own, whatever the case may be, and he had a tweet where he was like, who knows what I'm going to do? I might come back and play. I might join a professional pickleball league. I don't know. And then it got Browns fans to thinking, like, wait a minute. So maybe in the absence of Deshaun for 6 or 8 weeks, Drew Brees.
This is what we do
That's
with our
what we
spare
do.
time.
Yeah. We
Guys,
make believe.
I'm going to start this argument, and
Okay.
unbelievably, I'm going to make the argument for Baker Mayfield, something I haven't done in about a year and a half. I'm sick of Drew Brees. I didn't like him on TV. He is mentally checked out from the game. So as much as I'm down on Baker, at this point, I would argue that Baker is a better quarterback than Drew Brees. It sounds insane because Drew Brees is going to the Hall of Fame, and right now Baker's going to the Hall of Shame. But still, at this moment, he is the better quarterback. And I don't know. I'm just irritated by Drew Brees. I'm not sure why, because he won me 2 fantasy football championships over the years, so I should be a big fan.
Yeah,
but
you owe him.
I love him,
Yeah.
and now I hate him. I hate him. Hate
Show
strong,
some
but-
reverence.
Yeah.
Also, I'd ask
Yeah.
the court to strike the Hall of Shame record from the Hall of Shame comment from the record.
I also-
it was totally unwarranted.
Yeah.
There's no context to it.
I should have called objection.
I don't even know there is a Hall of Shame, but I don't think Baker's done
should
anything
be.
that deserves to go to the Hall of Shame.
We should start
Fair.
one. Let's start a Hall of Shame.
I want to start
Oh,
that. But
man.
yeah, all
That
right.
That
Something
would be
like-
good.
I'm gonna
You're
make
onto
this.
something.
I'm gonna get this mine over with quickly. I'm gonna disagree. I actually think obviously Drew Brees has the proven track record. If in this hypothetical we actually had access to him, you get rid of all of your Baker headaches. Obviously, I think that he's probably smart enough to pick up on our system very quickly. And yes, of course, if I have the option of having a future Hall of Famer in Drew Brees, who's not that far away from retirement, I would rather have him.
So you're going with Drew Brees.
I'm going Drew Brees.
Aditi, would you like to argue one side or the other? Would you like to sidebar with Your Honor so you can maybe help me make my decision? Because I usually, and I will also have a conversation with you as well if you'd like to weigh in on this. But
Well, I'd like to just add a separate point, if that's okay.
that's fair.
Please.
Adam is saying that he's not sure that Drew is really into the game at this point. But in this hypothetical, aren't we assuming that Drew is into the
fair
game and
point.
that
Right.
Drew wants to play?
That is a
so
correct
that
assumption.
seems like a completely invalid point right there. And I would also like to bring up the
Immaterial.
Good point.
that just about an hour ago, not even an hour ago, 40 minutes ago, Adam was railing about the immaturity
Yes.
of Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
So then shouldn't the maturity in the quarterback room, in the locker room, actually
won me
count
over.
for
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, you just got smoldered,
I got
friend.
destroyed in that argument.
So, G. Bush, are you
I agree.
going
Yeah,
Baker
we'll go.
or
Talk me
Drew
into
Brees?
Yeah, listen, I was going to go along, but since they don't know how to argue this point, let's
Yeah.
go ahead with Baker
Go ahead.
Mayfield.
Yeah.
Listen, Baker Mayfield, obviously, everyone knows he was hurt last year. Did you see Drew Brees the last time he played? Didn't have much in the tank. You're coming up here, he has to play in cold weather.
Not the first 6 weeks of the
Well,
season.
well, here's the thing. Some of us think that he's going to be suspended for well over 6 weeks. They keep coming out with stuff, and that
I
can be up
believe
to a year.
the scenario was 6 to 8 weeks. That gets us to November. It's not cold yet.
We don't live in Cleveland.
You never know.
You're not a licensed meteorologist. You are not free to talk about that.
He's heavy
playing
with the
online too.
He's heavy
See,
with the gavel tonight.
Yeah.
I'll say
You know
this.
what?
Painful. Like hurt your
Getting
injury.
off
I will
of
say
that.
this. Baker Mayfield, at this point in his career, is better physically. Baker Mayfield, at this point of his career, knows the offense. At this point in his career, Baker Mayfield has done more things for the Cleveland Browns than Drew Brees. If Drew Brees comes back, what can you naturally expect from Drew Brees, given the fact that he's old 90? The obvious choice
I
is
have a
Baker.
rebuttal point right
You
there.
can make your point.
Yes.
Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl when he could barely throw the ball.
That's a great
Sometimes
point.
there is
Yep.
incredible value in having a smart, heady, wily veteran player who can teach your locker room how to be a professional, who can teach your quarterbacks
Could
how
use
to
some of
approach
that.
the game.
Could
Rub
use
off
some of
the
that.
facts.
She has won me over.
I
Let's
have-
change my argument.
I have a rebuttal. Peyton Manning at the end of his
It
career,
wasn't granted.
he never retired.
Make your rebuttal.
He never retired. He wasn't eating steaks and posted up with his kids and watching Lifetime movies like Drew Brees has done for the last 2 years. Peyton Manning.
No, 1 year. 1 year.
No, but in this imaginary
1 year.
scenario, we are saying that Drew Brees is actually ready to play.
Motivated.
Yes, in this scenario.
Okay, in this imaginary scenario,
Gotcha.
Drew Brees is not just hanging out watching Lifetime. Drew
He's not
Brees
gonna
is
come back
training.
not
Would
Jake.
Drew
throwing
Brees actually be
footballs.
watching Lifetime?
Never.
That's speculatory.
I think he's watching
Yeah.
like the country music
Speculatory.
channel.
I think he
teaches
Does that still
Sunday
exist,
school and
the
stuff,
country
too.
music channel, whatever that is.
You got to throw one.
CMTV.
If you got one drive, right?
Yeah.
You got one drive.
I'm taking Drew Brees.
You take Drew
It
Brees.
is unquestionably.
Yes.
I mean, how many times did we see Baker fourth quarter, late close, interception?
Yeah, he at least
Can't
would take
get it
at
done.
least take the hit and not throw an interception
And
in
I think the
desperation.
really big deal here is that Baker is indeed, Brees is indeed a professional who's dealt with a variety of different things, whether it's Taysom Hill coming in or out,
Great point.
trying to win a point in New Orleans. And I think what we saw from Baker last year was a piece of tightness, knowing that he was playing for a contract.
I agree.
Look, in a contract year, you either it's like that line about pressure. Pressure bursts pipes, it also makes diamonds.
That's it.
Baker didn't really handle the pressure of playing for his big contract
That's
that
right.
well.
You're right. I will
There was
give
no Joe Flacco in him.
I'll give her a win on this, and I will use this information against Judge Day in the next panel
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you talk about Baker Mayfield coming back for $18 million.
That's true.
And that's how the
You gave
legal
us good
process
arguments
works.
against Jay and keeping Baker.
It was
That's
a
the end of our
reverse.
docket today. It looks
That's
like
what
we're
I'm
done.
here for.
Yeah.
What do we have, Mikey McNuggets?
Are you making a ruling?
Yeah.
I'm making a ruling. I think it's fairly obvious which way the court is leaning. Counselor makes some very, very valid points.
Yeah.
First and foremost, let's just say it out loud. Drew Brees, Baker Mayfield. That's all you have to say.
End of discussion. Yeah, fair enough.
I
The
love
court
that.
rules. Drew Brees.
He's
It
loving
is-
that gavel.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
You know,
he
I
loves
like
it.
going
We gotta
like
like put some
hearing a
padding
little
on
bit
that
right
or something.
here.
Yeah.
It's power.
Very vexing.
You don't want to put
Clearly.
power in the
I don't
wrong
know
hands.
anything about power, frankly. I have two little kids.
So let me just issue this decree. So it is said, so it will be done. The first 6 to 8 games of the Brown season, should Deshaun Watson be unavailable for any reason, Drew Brees will indeed be the Brown.
Congratulations, Drew.
Well done.
Yeah.
Drew.
He's
Well
probably
done,
so
Drew.
excited
This is
right
He's
beautiful.
on a golf course right now saying, wait, what?
now. I got a what?
Now,
I was serious about the pickleball thing. I wasn't serious about coming back.
You ready
Okay,
for question 2?
Mikey McNugget, what's their second case?
Which superhero would make the best NFL player?
That's easy money.
The court would like a little clarification. Are we talking Marvel? Are we talking Justice League? Like, what are we?
Okay, I
what's
need to
open
scroll.
here?
I need to do some quick research.
Any mainstream superhero.
Okay, so I'll tell you
of
what.
Marvel or DC.
You throw it out, and Your Honor will make a ruling as to
Okay.
whether or not that superhero is even
Yes.
eligible for
Your
this
Honor,
discussion.
this
Okay.
is a very easy debate here. I mean, most of them would be good, but I'm going with Captain America, of course. Captain America has super speed, has super strength. He really can't be hurt. So you never have to, you can't make the club from the tub. You don't have to worry about him being in the tub because he's always healthy. He can outrun everybody. He can outstrength everybody. And all you do is get him the ball. He's going to score a touchdown
Can
every
Your
time.
Honor ask where you plan on using Captain America?
I mean, I could use him anywhere, but I think I'll use him as like a slot receiver. I'm going slot receiver.
Just special teams.
Okay.
You got Captain America as a slot receiver, and he's
wanna
one of
get
the
him the
greatest
ball
of all
quick.
time.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make him running back. Whatever.
Yeah, I'd want him more than a slot receiver.
Yeah.
But the court will take your argument.
I'll
under
just say
advisement.
receiver. Just receiver.
Mike, do you have a superhero that you'd like to see
Of course,
in the NFL?
and this is why, like, I'm sort of like a jock nerd hybrid. I can walk between both worlds. You guys don't know what you're talking about. You're all jocks. You've all had like, you don't get stuck in the Marvel weeds the way that more of my friends have, and I have to hear them than anybody.
seen every
to be honest.
Marvel movie.
Okay, well then why would you pick Captain America?
Why?
Just basically instead of Superman, and I'm not picking Superman. It's too easy.
Oh, you're not?
It's too easy, and I'm not
Saying
saying.
Captain America's too simple.
Well, yeah,
All
Superman.
right, fair enough.
Superman has like this is the strongest guy in the universe.
I don't
fastest
like
guy-
DC though.
All right, well, that's not
Well,
the question, though,
fair.
whether or not you
All
like
right.
The
DC or
Superman
Marvel.
thing
The
is
question
if
is who would be the best football player.
If the defense all wore a little kryptonite necklace, your
That's a
guy's
great
done.
point.
He's
Great
done.
point.
shoulder
True.
patch, you're
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
And that's
So
another
who's your
reason I
guy?
to pick him.
Or a woman?
I'm picking a superhero named Nightcrawler from the Marvel Universe. because
It's a little obscure, though.
Wait,
who said he couldn't be obscure?
The court needs clarification. The court has never heard of this.
Nightcrawler, I will. He could bring me in as an expert witness.
Thank you.
Nightcrawler is a specific, and he has very detailed powers. It's actually a decent choice.
He has teleportation powers.
Yes.
In other words, he can disappear from one area and appear in another area.
In the end zone.
In the end zone. He's an excellent
It's illegal,
acrobat.
though. He went out of bounds.
No, you don't know that. Where was he? You don't know. But think
Sure,
about
he's
that. You got your
invisible.
choice. So yeah, it'd be hard. I thought about The Thing, who's made entirely out of bricks. I thought that might come in handy.
That's a great choice.
Of course, I considered Superman. You can't go wrong with Superman. But
Especially the Clark Kent bookish piece. Can't
Yes.
you see him studying a playbook really well?
That's a
yeah,
good
you're
point.
right. Yeah, he'd study
He's
the
gonna know that
playbook as Clark
playbook
Kent.
inside and out.
He'd live with it. No, but I want a guy who can just suddenly disappear from one area and appear in the end zone. I'd have him play both ways and play cornerback. He reads the quarterback, he can read his eyes, see where he's about to throw, and he's just all of a sudden there and grabs it and he's gone. You can't. He's not the strongest guy. He's not the fastest
What
guy.
does the thing look like?
The thing?
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler looks sort of like a demon with a tail. He also
This
has
has tails.
He
He
has
has
a
four
prehensile
fingers,
tail. That
three
can't
fingers.
hurt. You know what I mean?
true.
Grabbing people.
Yeah, no,
So,
you're
anyways,
right.
I am Team Nightcrawler for. I think he'd be an excellent NFL player.
I didn't expect that answer.
Yeah, I know you didn't, because you guys are jocks.
You think outside the box, Mike.
Yes,
Cole.
yeah.
Aditi, I know you've done your research.
I did, but I don't know how I'm supposed to compete with that.
Yeah, that is pretty
Because
good.
you're a jock
And
too.
you know, well, maybe that's
The
part of it. I would
teleportation thing
appreciate
is
that.
on point.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
can we just go with the Hulk then? Because Miles Garrett reminds me of the Hulk, and you
That
have
was
the
my
most
choice.
That's a good
strongest
call, too.
superhero
Yeah.
that's out there. And if
See,
you're
but my
thinking
problem
about-
with the Hulk is he has no control over himself. He'd be causing penalties. all the
Oh,
time.
I could talk about
He's
a lot
out
of
of control.
defensive players that don't have much control
uncoachable.
either.
Well,
Uncoachable.
some would say Miles Garrett lost control in one
No,
pretty
you
bad
just coach
situation.
him when he's his alter ego.
When you coach him as Bruce Banner.
Exactly.
And
as
then
Bruce
you
Banner.
then you gotta
And
get
you
him
turn
mad.
him
He'd
just
into
be
Hulk
running around the
on
field.
But then you got to get him
Aimlessly.
real mad right before the game. And just be like,
And he'd probably kill the other team. He
Most
wouldn't just
likely.
tackle him. He'd kill them.
Obviously.
yeah. And then he's
That's a
going to
slight
I'm not
hole
great
in
at
your
these
argument.
imaginary
That's a
games.
slight hole in your argument. The court will take it under advisement, and I'll issue my ruling after G. Bush.
Let me go ahead and just shut this down. I can't believe you left the door open like this. First of all, if you really know your superheroes, there's only one choice.
we don't.
The man of darkness, Batman himself, is the franchise quarterback. Let me tell you why. Not only is Batman in the Justice League, he's the captain of the Justice League. Batman's the team leader.
Batman's the guy.
Batman's intellect and master detective. He figures out the Riddler. He knows playbooks. He knows where to put people in position. And not only does Batman know that, he's taken a step further. He's in the Justice League, but he's come up with a report on how to stop every individual member of the Justice League in case they go rogue. Batman is the obvious choice. He doesn't need a max contract because he's rich as heck. And Batman is the captain of all captains. Batman, the regular man, the guy's guy, the pro's pro. Batman's the choice.
rebuttal, Your Honor.
Oh,
Rebuttal.
wait, no.
rebuttal.
There's none to
In
rebuttal.
the issue of fairness, you make a very strong and compelling case. However, the court likes to hear other dissenting
Thank you.
opinions. I might change my mind.
There you go.
I was ready to rule, and then he brought Batman on me.
I totally understand rebuttal, Your Honor. He's just a rich jerk when it all comes down to it. He has no superpowers whatsoever.
If he couldn't wear his suit on the field,
His tools, no, you couldn't.
He'd be
His
useless.
although they're essentially, the guys essentially these days are wearing Batman's Kevlar out there as it stands.
They pretty much are.
But regardless, he can't. None of that stuff applies to the actual game. He can't be using like bat hooks and stuff like that to stop
I
people.
agree.
That's illegal.
Go ahead.
And
I'll let you
His
finish.
utility belt
And
would be
all
off
of his-
limits.
I'll take his utility belt off. Go ahead.
all of his uses of those things that he has against the other superheroes would be worthless because he's out there not playing against them. He's out there playing against normal NFL players. Last point, I've already changed my mind on my superhero. I'm going with Dr. Xavier in the wheelchair.
in a wheelchair.
Wait a minute.
Yes, but he has mind power over everyone, and he can just tell everybody, like, hand me the ball. And then he just cruises into the end.
We need a ruling, Jay. We need a ruling.
Everyone's frozen.
need a ruling.
Picture everyone's frozen, and Dr. Xavier, everyone's just frozen in the field, and he's just rolling into the end zone on his
Who would
wheelchair.
watch such a game? No one would watch
Yeah,
a game
it would
like
be
that.
very boring.
I'd watch it.
Okay, the court is ready to make a ruling. I will say that your last comments were, I'm considering disbarring you. You do not change your mind 75% into the
I understand. I get passionate about the law.
I just want to see that we follow the letter of the law. I
Yes.
think you all made very strong and valid points. I love the Hulk, but the availability is
Fair.
a problem.
Fair.
You know, if he's not in Hulk mode, he does me no good whatsoever.
Right.
your Nightcrawler thing just sounds creepy to me. It's a creepy name. I don't want anybody in my organization that's called Nightcrawler.
Right.
So I liked your argument, but I'm not buying it.
Right.
We don't even know who he did.
America.
We forgot.
Such a compelling argument that the
As I
judge
think of
couldn't even
Captain
remember
America.
it.
Right.
And I'm trying to think specifically what he's going to bring to the table that other superheroes wouldn't. I didn't really have anything that he didn't.
Super speed, super strength.
Here's what I love about G. Bush's argument, and you can tell the court is heavily leaning.
Yeah.
If one of my drafts were to be leaked, which I don't allow that to happen.
No.
But if one of my drafts were to be leaked, you would find that I'm leaning heavily towards G. Bush.
Right.
And let the court
That's
explain
terrible.
itself. I love the idea that you went for a leader. He was the only one that thought
Captain
in that
America
vein.
is the leader
No,
of the
he's
Avengers.
not.
Nobody
He
drafts
is the
slot
leader of the
receivers
Avengers.
first
He is.
overall. ever.
Yeah, Mikey McNuggets.
Wait a second.
Let me recognize
Captain
you.
America is
If
the
you
leader
don't
of the
currently
Avengers.
have
He is the
your-
leader of the Avengers.
If you're not currently recognized by the bar,
And
you
the-
now are.
Thank
It's a
you.
great point.
And the
Straight up.
Marvel movies are way better than the DC
And he
movies.
has superpowers, unlike Michael Keaton in Batman. You want
Right.
Michael Keaton on your football team?
You know what? Here's what I want him to do. I want him to walk into the huddle, look around everybody. Everybody's waiting to see what he's going to say. He's going to look right at everybody. He's going to say, I'm Batman.
Yes.
And I'm in.
Right.
He's got me and I'm Batman.
Right.
I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
following his
He'd
guy.
own the huddle.
And I love
I
that
need
you
a
don't
leader.
have to give him a mega contract.
Captain
See,
America
we
said
talked about
Avengers
Tom
assemble.
Brady.
What
We
is
talked
that?
about Tom Brady playing for a reasonable amount of money. He can
Aditi,
spend the money on his teammates.
Kind of. Tom Brady and Batman are kind of the same cat.
I'm seeing it.
He's taking $1, giving it to charity. He's already Bruce Wayne. Come on now.
Yeah, he doesn't need the money.
Doesn't need the
If
bread.
you want Tom Brady, then you got to go with like Fat Thor when he's drunk and upset.
No, absolutely not. The court's ready to rule, and I almost want to do this one more time.
Okay.
The official court ruling is Batman would make the best NFL
yes.
player.
Honestly.
All the
Yes.
That is
superheroes.
terrible.
This is a mistrial.
Thank you so much. Thank
Can we
you.
take this to the Supreme Court?
You can appeal all
We're
you
appealing
want.
it.
Denied.
We're not going to hear it because it's a frivolous and ridiculous argument.
Well,
Mikey, does that bring to an end Judge Jay? or-
No, we have a top 5
Oh, we
that
have
we
a
need you
top
to
five.
judge.
you got to keep
Yeah.
wearing that.
You
Man.
got to put you.
Sorry, dude.
Is that getting itchy?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm telling you.
like wool
I
pants.
feel like an old member of the flock of seagulls. And you're old if you know who they are. But
no
holy
idea
cow,
what
this is
you're talking
ridiculous.
about.
You know the flock of seagulls?
No.
Google them, child. Google them. All right, Mikey, what's our top 5?
So I want to say one thing first. What's going to happen? Bull winning an argument in Judge Jay or winning a Little League game?
I have
What's
already
coming
won an
first?
argument.
Oh, yeah, he did win one argument already in Judge Jay.
Mike, you're out of line there.
Yeah, that was a
You're
terrible
out
low
of
blow.
line.
And also, and you know what? Strike that Bull hasn't won a Little League comment from the
He
record.
covers, though. He's a covering king.
Bull, we're pulling for you. Bull lost
Yes.
his 4th Little League game.
We're 0-4.
They're 0-4. But you know what? In Little League, wins are measured in good times.
That's
and I
right.
bet you
Having
your
fun.
team is leading
My
the league
team-
in fun and laughs.
No doubt. And last night it was a great game because the other team, the coach is a friend of mine, and both teams were up there swinging and learning to play baseball and not just standing there walking.
That's
every
what you
event.
want. Yeah, that's
It
what
was
you
a lot of fun.
They
in the
need to pick
rain,
it up. They
kids
need
were
to pick it
slipping
up.
in the mud. It was a ball.
Yeah.
We're tired. My team's tougher than the Guardians. They got rained down. We played.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, what's our top 5 list?
So tomorrow we're changing my Twitter handle and adopting an official nickname.
So is the vote tomorrow?
The vote is tomorrow, so you have 24 hours.
Do we
Chat,
know the choices
Twitter,
yet? Mikey McNuggets, leader in the clubhouse.
And we still have 4 others to come up with from the chat. So we will
Okay.
have them all 5 tomorrow.
Is
to
Prison
vote on.
Mike one of the
Prison
finalists?
Mike is on the list.
Prison
yes.
Mike, a lot of people liked Prison Mike.
Yeah, it's
Do
got
you
some
have
weird
a favorite so
connotations.
far, Aditi, for Mikey McNuggets? Do you have a nickname for him yet, or you just don't know him yet?
I'm gonna, yeah, we're just meeting right now. I'm feeling I need a little time.
There are no layers. That's
okay.
pretty much what he is.
Isn't it funny? I'm thinking Prison Mike is now an old school reference because it was a whole week ago. Now it doesn't
That
really
was
make
eons
sense
ago.
anymore.
What's our top 5 today?
What's the worst nicknames in sports? So these are the lists that I'm trying to avoid being on tomorrow.
Oh, I see.
Worst nicknames in sports.
What you don't want to be called. Okay,
Yes.
what's number 5?
The worst, number 5, just called the unibrow
Oh,
for Anthony
yeah.
Davis.
But it's so fitting.
It's
know.
still
Yeah.
terrible. I don't know if you want to be known as the brow, and there's another one on this list.
Well,
that
if
I
he
think
doesn't
even
want to be
worse
known
to
at that,
as.
then shave it. I mean, what can I tell you?
Seriously.
But it's going to grow back.
But then shave it every day or every other day. I don't
Do you know what a pain that would be?
Well, you shave your face every day.
It's
don't
a
you?
pain.
But he's trying to be real.
Yeah.
Like, I think he feels like that's his identity now.
Okay,
He's
so-
betraying himself. It's Samson's hair. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? If he
I
cuts
think
that
it's
middle
I
part.
disagree. I think it's a good nickname.
You like it? Aditi, do you like it, Unibrow?
Can we see what else is on the list?
Yeah, let's see number 4.
Let's go on to number 4.
Boom, she says.
Harold Miner, who nicknamed himself Baby Jordan.
Yeah.
Huge mistake.
And this turned out terrible.
Huge mistake.
Didn't work out well for
First
him.
of all, you can't make up your own nickname. And I know what people are thinking, well, you Bull. You probably nicknamed yourself. I did not. My friends called me Bull when I was 13 years old.
Really?
So I did not make up my own nickname.
Why was it? Was it?
Because
Wait, really?
Believe shockingly,
Right.
this is going to blow your mind, I was very tall at 13 years old.
Okay.
Right? I was this height at like 13. I was this height at like 10. And then I stopped growing completely. Right. But when I was really young, I was one of the tallest kids.
NBA scouts were circling
No,
you.
definitely not. Definitely not. But, so I was tall. I was a big kid, right? I played first base. I was a lefty, and I was a Cubs fan.
Okay.
And where I grew up in New York, everybody was obsessed with baseball.
Sure.
And we had another friend named Adam in the group, because I was a big kid. And the Cubs at the time had a first baseman, Leon Bull Durham.
Yep, that's right.
And my friends started calling me that. And when I went to college, again, one of my roommates' name was Adam, and one of the guys said, "Do you have a nickname?" And I said, "Well, my friends used to call me Bull," and from there it just took off.
Wow.
That's
You
it.
know,
So
I
did not
actually
make up my own
asked
nickname.
Adam's wife, do you get called Mrs. Bull? Is
bet
this
she
the Bull
does.
family?
She does sometimes.
Yeah.
That's
How
crazy.
crazy
Is she okay
is
with that?
Yes, she's okay.
Okay, that's
with that.
good.
Yeah.
She doesn't
the
call
whole,
me that.
like the term like what a bull is.
Yeah.
So then the idea of Mrs. Bull, it could really be confusing.
Yes.
But this is a confusing world anyhow, so
That
I guess
it is,
plays.
no
Okay,
doubt.
what's number 3?
Lester, the molester, Hayes.
That's a great
my
one.
God.
Yeah. That was,
Yeah,
that's something that would fly these
That's
days.
of
Yeah.
that's
I
of
forgot
all
about
time.
I did too.
Oh,
You went into the archives.
I
for
mean, that should
one.
be number 1.
Boy,
Yeah,
let me tell you though,
seriously.
he was. You talk about a lockdown.
Yeah.
That dude, man, you couldn't catch a cold
Just-
if you were going up against
Just don't
him.
name your kids Lester, everybody.
Yeah.
It's too much of a layup
Yeah,
for
I know.
anybody
Or
who
Chester,
wants. Yeah,
for that
Chester.
matter.
Yep.
I don't even like the name Chauncey. That's not a
Chauncey,
yeah,
not
Chauncey
like
Billups?
no Chauncey in the hood. They be like, man, you a Chauncey.
Yeah, that's true.
You little British prince.
Yeah, some names come with a stigma.
Yeah,
Lester just rhymes with molester.
it's easy.
Yeah, it's too
Don't
easy.
do it.
He wore stickum on his socks too, which I thought was really cool. Outlawed that in no time. He would stick his hand up and catch the ball with one hand on as he's guarding guys because he's just got so much stickum on there.
Speaking of molesters, did you guys?
You can't tra-
stop.
Wait.
He's got a good transition
Wait a
going.
second. Wait a second.
I ain't doing it.
Did you know that there is a sports play-by-play guy in Baltimore whose name is Jerry
Oh no,
Sandusky?
I do. Yeah,
Who's
no,
the nicest
he
man?
is the nicest guy.
And it's spelled differently.
I know that, but you think he would have changed his name?
But I'll tell you what, ESPN ran an incredible feature where
Yeah, that was
we
tricky.
actually
That's brutal.
let him tell the importance of his name and why should I change my name
Yeah.
because someone who happens to share it did unthinkable things.
Just-
And you're right, Jerry's first of all, he's
Such
a
a nice
great
guy.
play-by-play man.
Excellent.
Yes.
And he's
Yes.
just super nice.
How about
and-
Jay Sandusky moving forward?
No, it's G.
But
it
it's
starts with
G.
a G.
Oh, it's
His
G.
name
I'm
is
G
Dr. G.
Sandusky. There
I know,
you go.
I know, but that's your identity.
No, it's my
If
name.
somebody named Mike Polk became a serial killer,
Right.
Would you change your
like,
name?
would you change your name?
I think I want that street cred. You know what I mean? Imagine you want to speed up.
you're
of serial
encouraging other
killers,
Mike
You
Polks
want
to
to
go out.
speed up the rental car line? Have
Bro.
me just be like, hi, and they're like, oh my God, yeah, let's get you in a car
Jeffrey
right away.
Dahmer? Yeah, we've got. What do you want?
You want to hear something crazy? There's
Yes.
another Aditi Kinkhabwala.
There can't-
No, you
who
can't
grew
be.
up in Edison, New Jersey, the town right next
What
to
are
the
the
town
odds
that
of
I
that?
grew up in.
Were you related?
Not even remotely related.
That is
A
phenomenal.
couple years older
great.
than me. She became a doctor, and I can't get Aditi Kinkhabwala on Gmail in any way.
That's
Aditi
amazing.
That is
Kinkhabwala is
unbelievable.
gone.
Yep.
Wow.
Kinkhabwala is gone.
Is your last name more common in India?
No.
It's
No.
an uncommon name.
This is like the
India.
only Kinkhabwala I think that my parents have ever met that's not related.
Really?
to
That is
and
shocking.
That is absolutely.
And that
blows
they
my
picked the
mind.
name Aditi
is
for their
nuts.
daughter.
Wow. Where are we? Number 2?
We have number 2. This one just annoys the crap out of me. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville.
I have that on my
It's
list.
terrible.
I have that on my list.
I
I'm
don't
not
even
kidding.
know who that is.
He's a race car driver.
Yeah,
But my thing,
So
the
that's
reason
fine.
the reason I put it on my list is you want your nickname to roll off the tongue.
Right, that's terrible.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Awesome Bill from Dawsonville.
Yeah,
no,
it's like
doesn't
most of a
work.
limerick. That's it doesn't like that can't be a nickname.
You can't even fit that on a shirt.
No, that's bad.
Yeah. So you had that at number 2. I just had that on my list. I didn't rank mine. What's your number 1?
Number one's a
worst?
little obscure.
Yes.
Jameer Nelson, crib midget. Dwight Howard called him crib midget once, and it
Yeah.
stuck.
Yeah,
That
you
is
First of all, the
tough
second word
one.
is
you can't
inappropriate.
even
use
get that
word
off no
anymore.
more.
Yeah, no, it's now it's crib. Small
I've
person,
never heard
short
of that.
person.
What does the crib have to do? What's the crib mean?
I don't know
He's
what
a
It's because
baby,
Dwight Howard said he had a
guess.
small house and was under 6 feet tall, so he called him crib midget.
Wow. Got 2 swings in at that guy at once.
Does anybody have any names they'd like to add to the list?
Yes,
Go.
I do. This is the worst of all time, and this is just for you.
The molester is the worst
Your
of all
Pittsburgh
time.
people.
It is pretty
Mapletron. What? Chase Claypool. Let me talk to you, bro.
That's his nickname?
You
He's
took
from Canada.
Megatron,
Yeah.
and you said I'm Mapletron.
He didn't give it to
It
himself.
makes me think that he's like sitting there with gloves on, pouring maple syrup all over his body, trying to run down the field. Mapletron?
He didn't give
He
it.
didn't give it to himself.
I got one better for you,
him.
G. How about Andrew Wiggins going as Maple Jordan?
That's another thing.
Yeah, that
no
was-
maple.
What does that have to do with
No.
anything?
He's Canadian.
He's Canadian too.
Canada.
It's demeaning to both Jordan and Canada, I feel.
I
to
think
call-
it's very
yeah.
demeaning to Canada.
It is.
Yeah.
I have one more that was actually mentioned earlier that I think we overlook, just in its simplicity, it enrages me, and that's touchdown Tommy Vardell.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Like-
well, he just didn't live up to it.
But no, but was that like the very first thing anyone thought of? They're like, we got some alliteration going. He's a running back. Was like, I don't know, touchdown Tommy.
well,
terrible.
in defense of the nickname, when he was at Stanford, he lived up to the nickname. You know,
but
he was
still
their
give him
goal line
something
back.
better. It's like a generic. It's the most generic nickname.
Yeah, it is kind of generic.
The internet has been talking. I got this from our producer Brianna. She says Booger McFarlane.
That's on my list.
I like Booker.
And I know Booger, and I used to call him Anthony, and he'd get so
Hey,
mad.
we can't do that.
I can't call a grown man Booger.
I can't.
Yeah, well, what about calling a grown man stink?
Yeah, that's another
That's a pretty
one.
bad one.
Yeah, Mark Schlereth.
Especially if you're talking like in a panel like with Booger and something serious about like the Deshaun Watson thing. So I'm like, that's a great point, Booger. But if we could just take women's needs into consideration.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like
It's very
even
difficult.
He's not even the best Booger. It's the guy from Revenge of the Nerds is the
100%.
best Booger.
Yes.
Booger Presley.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. no
also
question.
on Moonlighting.
Anybody
That's for
else
no
have
one.
any names they'd like to throw out there? Bull, do you have
No, I
any?
just gave you one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm done. Tommy's.
Okay, I just
terrible.
wrote some down. Butterbean, they never liked it. I just
Yeah.
never liked it. You
Very
remember the big
fitting,
heavyweight
He did
boxer?
look like a butterbean.
He looked like a butterbean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
what would you really want to be
No,
called
I
butterbean?
wouldn't.
Like,
No.
and he's big enough to shut it down at a very early stage. Like
Yeah.
the first person that calls you that, okay. The second one gets decked, and
Yeah.
there is no third. That's
Right.
done.
Yeah.
Okay. Booger was on my list.
Yeah.
I love him, but.
Why does he have that nickname? Do we know?
So one of his, I think his older sister started calling him that, or it's a relative. I've asked him before, and he's told me the story, and I can't remember, but it was somebody in the
Such a
family.
memorable story.
Called him Booger. Okay. It wasn't what you would think. You know, I said, did you sit in the corner and just pick your nose all day? No. Okay. Larry Bird's nickname always bothered me.
Larry Legend?
Nope.
No,
that's
the
a good
French
one.
lick or
The
the
hick from French Lick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just didn't like that.
Yeah.
Honorable mention
Didn't like
for me.
that.
Just missed the top 5.
What's that? So
Just
you,
missed the top 5.
you gave it consideration.
Yeah. It's
My
pretty,
earpiece
that's pretty rough.
is getting muffled in my wig.
Think about how our
Jay's
founding
been in
fathers
this
had to deal
wig
with that all the time.
forever.
I know, this thing's killing me. Yeah, I don't know how they did it.
You know?
Why did they do it?
Right.
Why? As I
They
was
could
ordering
probably
this
never
from
hear out of
Amazon,
their IFBs, our founding fathers.
No, they could not. But I literally thought, how did we ever become a country when the dudes that were leading the way wore these?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who saw this and said, follow that man? I don't know. Okay, my last 3 are all in the same category. Manny Ramirez, they called him Man Ram.
was
Really
bad.
uncomfortable with that.
I heard it was the baby bull.
Who?
Manny Ramirez.
No, maybe. I don't remember
Man
that.
says
Man
Man
Ram
Ram.
was
Man-
a popular. That's a
Man
terrible
Ram was
one.
popular, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to call him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can call him that if you want.
Right.
Here's another one that I would never use. There's 2 more that I would never use. Do you know what David Beckham's nickname was?
I saw this.
This is a true story.
I saw this.
Golden balls. Now, look where your mind went, Bull.
Golden
Right.
balls.
Look where your mind went. It's because, bend it like Beckham, he could
Yeah.
put a ball wherever he wanted, soccer ball, wherever he wanted, and just, like, somebody said,
Love that
"Man,
movie, by the way.
golden
Yeah.
balls.
I love that movie
love that
too.
movie.
And then
Love
when I
Love
say
it.
this last one, you're going to understand it, too.
Yeah.
This is one that I just refuse to ever use.
Is it Lance Armstrong Golden Ball? No, it's not.
That's not true.
sorry.
That's also not nice.
All right.
Well, he did cheat.
Did she?
So you can make fun of him.
Yeah,
Definitely strike that
Yeah.
from the internet.
Exactly. Okay.
That cannot be out there.
I was
He's
too
a
late.
cheater.
Randy Johnson's nickname always troubled me.
The big unit.
Yeah, didn't like it.
I think he did, though. He liked it.
I think he loved it.
Loved it.
I think he loved it.
Why was that bad?
That's a great
That's a
nickname.
great nickname.
I just
The
these
big
nicknames
unit
that-
Johnson, G.
Yeah.
Think
Big
about
unit
it.
Well, but he
Johnson.
didn't go by the big unit Johnson. You
No, he
just go-
didn't. But
It's a big unit.
and he
Called
was
the big unit.
6'10",
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah, like-
I'll never forget that All-Star game. Who was it? Was it John Kruk who
John
went
Kruk,
up
yes.
against
Ball behind him.
and he just like stood back.
Yeah.
that was a classic moment.
That was a
moment.
life-changing moment.
Wow. That's nice to see that your sports knowledge crosses all. Not
Oh, I
just
grew up a
football.
baseball fan.
That's
I
right.
was born in New York and grew up in
Yeah,
New Jersey, so I went to Yankee Stadium
Oh,
before I ever
love
saw a
that.
football
I love
game.
That was a great moment. Google it, kids. You don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just put in Randy
Did I
Johnson.
just age myself?
And John Kruk All-Star game.
Or,
You did. 'Cause
or
that was-
Randy Johnson with the bird. That's
Oh, the bird in
Yeah.
spring training. They're going
Yeah.
to go down that YouTube rabbit hole because that's going to come up next, and they're going to click that.
Didn't
Yes.
PETA go after him for that? Did PETA go?
No, but PETA did go after some other people that threw
think
balls
Mattingly.
from the outfield and hit Seagull.
Right,
Rick
right.
Manning did that once.
bound to happen.
Peter may go after us for just talking about
Man,
it.
Rick Manning got himself into some binds, huh?
Yeah, he did. He did. We talked about his Dennis Eckersley, that whole thing a while ago on the
Yeah.
You
program.
ever face a pitch from a major league pitcher?
I did. A couple of years ago, I was at spring training camp, Indian spring training, and during a rain delay, a bunch of the guys were like, they're ragging on me because I still play. I'm still that guy.
Maybe you knew him on your
and
little
so
league
they
team.
said, Crawford thinks he can hit. Could you hit a major leaguer? And I'm like, absolutely. So we had a big bet. Mark Mulder was there, and Tim Kirkshin said, there's no way you could square up a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. And I'm like, I'd bring it. Give me 3 pitches, I will. And I fouled the first one off. I hit the second one to right field, and the third one I absolutely laced a shot to deep left center.
Off of Mulder?
Off a 90-mile-an-hour pitcher.
Pitch machine.
Pitching machine.
Oh,
which,
pitching
which is different because you know what's coming.
I thought he was going against Randy Johnson.
Yeah, why didn't you have a real pitcher?
Yeah,
There were
Okay.
liability issues.
Yeah.
Liability issues. Well, from the team and from ESPN. They wouldn't let me. I wanted to. And there were guys that would have done it that wanted to do it.
Right.
I need a verification on this. I need
Right.
that verification.
Seriously, right?
Actually,
We need to get Tim Kirkshin on to
So-
verify this.
Yeah.
So now let me tell you this. So I won the bet. Here was the craziest thing that happened for me. They had that video up on a website, put it up, and they didn't get ESPN's permission. And I used to send that link around to my buddies. I'm like, here I am cranking 90, and they for some reason ESPN made them pull the video because they didn't have the rights, and it broke my heart because I still have the link, which has the full article that explains what
Sure,
the bet
we'll all
was.
get it tonight.
You're gonna see it. No.
Same
At
email gonna be
at
rocking.
105, it will be in your text
All of our
inbox.
phones
Jumping.
being at the same time.
Listen, there's very few things that you can point to that might have been your crescendo moment in life.
Yeah.
Very few.
All right.
Hey, Mikey McNuggets, we should do a show from a batting cage at some point.
Let's do it.
Bring it. Hey,
know,
listen, my
take a
season
field
opener is
trip.
Saturday.
Yeah.
And,
He got
and
season over.
He plays.
You know, just on
G-Bush.
that greatest moment. Here it comes again.
order.
On that greatest moment thing, you do remember you have a wife and 2 kids, right? You got married. You had.
Athletic.
Okay, got it.
Athletic. All right.
Hey,
Look, I played minor league baseball. You would think that would be my highlight. No. Plus, I'm an Indians fan, and a lot of the guys were like saying, "There's no ways this is going to happen." Like, look at this dude. He's 50.
Yeah.
And I had just about a month earlier, I had played in a tournament in Arizona, and in the championship game, we were facing the guys throwing 92. And I hit him. I knew I could do it, and I wanted to prove it, so I'm like, oh my God, here's my chance.
Yeah.
I got to take control here, Polk. We got to go to break so we can play your game next.
Sure. Got a big
You
game.
thought we've had fun already? Wait until you see what we got coming up.
Big
after
game
break.
coming up, you guys.
I'm in the middle of telling a very important baseball story, and you wrestle control of this courtroom.
Yes.
Just
Because-
dream journaling
you know
later
what?
on.
The court seconds that motion because I can't wait to play this
Yeah,
game.
let's see how it goes.
If you're a Browns fan, you are going to love Mike Polk's game.
Don't
that's
build
coming
things
up
up
next.
like this.
Listen, this deserves to be
right.
built up. Can I say the name of it, or should we wait?
Let's wait.
Stick around. The
Stick
Ultimate
around.
Business Sports Show is coming right back. I promise you, you will not want to miss this.
Hey, it's Adam the Bull for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and I'll tell you what I think of when I think of Cleveland sports. It's that everybody loves it. I've been to other parts of the country, and there's people that love sports and people that don't care. But in Cleveland, Everybody cares even a little bit, from every walk of life, and that's what makes this city special. Whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, it doesn't matter. The people of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio love their teams like nowhere else in the country.
News you can trust should be news you can rely on.
And every night at 11 on What's Next, you can rely on us.
A new legal twist for Brown.
Today also marks the beginning of
We're here, and we are going to continue.
So the Guardians have to play almost. You can rely on us to help you go to bed better informed with stories that prepare you for tomorrow.
And with news that's relevant to your life. We'll make sure that you're ready for what's next.
Because being ready for tomorrow is what matters most.
We face challenges every day, some bigger than others, and we never know what's around the corner.
Through the highs and the lows, whatever we face it together. Each morning on Go, we are here with the facts, because what impacts you impacts all of us.
And understanding those facts helps us to make informed decisions for our families, our communities, and our future.
We are here for you every step of the way. Go, weekday mornings, 4:30 to 7 a.m.
Cleveland sports to me is bigger than anything. It's bigger than some people's marriages. They say the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. No. Dallas is not America's team. Cleveland is America's team. And sports in Cleveland is a religion. It's a way of life. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter. Sports is a way for people in Cleveland to get together, and it's something that can't be replicated in Cleveland. Sports is a thing.
Which is more than a thing.
We are back, and I can't wait for this next segment. It's been Mikey McNuggets told me in the morning meeting, I guarantee you this will make you laugh. Mike Polk, what do you have?
Well, as you know, I don't know if you're familiar with this. You're a Browns fan, sort of, for quite some time, right? Obviously.
Don't label her a fan.
I'm not a fan
covered
of
the
anything.
AFC North.
Okay, but
for
you had
many years.
Stefan, you had your kid, you dropped a kid
Well,
here.
we're going to come back to. I did drop a kid here.
Yeah.
You dropped a kid here.
So you're kind of stuck with us. Regardless, we've had, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but we've had a little bit of turmoil at the quarterback position since our return in 1999. It's been a bit of a rough road. A lot of faces, some more memorable than others. A lot of people have actually started too. We're not just talking backups. We've had a lot of starting quarterbacks. What have Pittsburgh had, like 2 over the last 37 years, something like that? We've had several. And what I wanted to do was challenge your knowledge of the panel of some of the quarterbacks we've had in the past. We're going to be playing this game called Post-99 Browns Starting Quarterback or Stock Photo Auto Mechanic.
Oh my.
Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to show you a picture of the face of someone, and you are going to simply tell me whether or not it is an auto mechanic stock photo, or if it's a Brown starting QB since '99.
I like this.
Do we have to
gonna
nail
I
which
thought it was going to
quarterback
be
it is?
bodies. It's just heads?
I would prefer, you'll see, I would prefer to see, if you saw the bodies, you'd see whether or not they were wearing like coveralls and stuff. You understand the problem?
A lot of auto mechanics wish they had a quarterback's
Yes.
body.
Just let me roll with it. Let's start one off with
Not
an easy
Eli
one. We're
Manning.
just going to go around
Which way we going?
We're going to go
I'm
like this with the panel. We'll go
Okay.
Adam first. Let's see our first contestant. Let's see. Take a look at this first picture. Is that a mechanic or is that a Browns quarterback? Take a guess.
I think that's a mechanic.
Let's take a
But he
look.
looks like Kirk Cousins.
Let's take a look. It's a mechanic.
Doesn't he look
He
like
said,
Kirk
yeah,
Cousins?
I was thinking
Good.
about it, like, is that a really?
Well, you know what
Yes.
else? He's got a quarterback smile and beard.
And that
That
beard.
didn't look familiar at
That's
all.
what makes it so tricky.
All right.
All
So
right.
we're 0-1.
No, I got it right.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's
got it
right.
right.
Yeah.
Bull and I thought it was a quarterback.
You're next, Didi.
You were
Thank
cheating.
goodness
You guys
we're
did
not.
think it was a quarterback? That's
Yeah,
good
I
enough.
was like,
I did.
Let's take a look at our next one. This is for you, Didi. Here we go. Is that a stock photo mechanic or is that a Browns quarterback since 1999?
This is funny.
Tough, right? What do you think? Take a guess.
That's a quarterback.
I just saw you cheat. No cheating.
No cheating, Jay.
Jay, come on.
Jay
That's Jake DeLone.
I just recognized
Jay
him
was
as
over
Jake
there.
DeLone.
Jay was over there playing charades with his face.
Exactly. None of that.
Hey,
Sink or
health is a
swim.
good
You let
thing.
each other sink
Are you
or
having
swim.
a seizure?
Teammates.
All right.
So, Mike, here's the deal.
Yes.
Aditi and I have just started working together.
Yeah.
We didn't quite have the nonverbal that a good quarterback and wide receiver have.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at her and she's looking at me and she's kind of giving me the question mark eyes.
Yeah.
And I thought I was giving her that's a quarterback, but I couldn't, so I just went.
You guys are like bad people who are cheating at spades right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You talking over the table?
Okay, G.
We
Bush.
are 2-0 as a group.
G. Bush, here's your next contestant. Is that a mechanic or is that a former Browns quarterback since 1999 who started? Which do you think it is? Take a guess.
That guy. It looked like a mechanic, but I want to think it's Cody Kessler, but I think it's a mechanic.
All right, we're going mechanic. Let's take a look. It's Cody Kessler! Had the name.
Hey, I didn't think he grew his beard that thick. I said, that's a little thick for Cody.
Yeah, you got a rare picture of him with the full
He
beard.
did look really chipper, too.
I'm like, man, that don't look like Cody, but
Okay,
yeah.
moving on.
You know, this game would be great for Joe Thomas.
Don't you think?
I
Oh,
wonder
yeah.
if he could
he
recognize
nailed it.
everybody.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
He's like, yeah, that guy came in my huddle once late in the fourth quarter. I only knew him for 10 days.
I've only
but-
seen most of these guys from behind. And on the
Okay,
ground.
we're 2-1
from behind.
Okay,
2-1.
yeah, moving on. Here, Jay's turn. Here we go. Let's take the next one. Is that a former
No,
Brown?
that's straight up mechanic.
Let's take a look.
Straight up
Mechanic.
That's a mechanic.
Yeah, baby.
Good
Boom.
job.
All right, we're back to Bull.
right.
And here we go. Here's our next player here. Here we go. Is that a former Brown starting quarterback, or is that a mechanic?
That's a quarterback. Is that Connor Cook?
Let's take a look. That's a mechanic.
I love that he was like, I think that's Connor Cook.
All right.
He tried to go the G. Bush route.
Some of them are trickier
I'll hedge
than
my bet
other
on this
ones.
one.
All right, we're 3-2, right?
Yeah.
Bree? We're 3-2.
She's keeping it.
Okay.
All right, you're up, Aditi. Here we go. Next
Aditi,
one.
this is big. This one keeps us over
Is
500.
that a quarterback, or is that a stock photo mechanic? What do you think?
I have no idea who that is, but I feel like it's got to be a quarterback.
All right, so is that what you're going with?
I am.
All right, let's take a look.
Can't be.
That's Charlie Fry.
I
That's
thought
Charlie Fry.
Backwards.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was Charlie.
Charlie
Yeah, that's
Fry.
Charlie Fry.
I
bro.
got it.
Good job.
Fry, one of two former Browns.
Give me some love.
He's one who looks the most like a mechanic.
He really does.
He did. He had the ears and everything.
Okay, moving on. Let's move on. This is G-Bush. Here we go. Is that a mechanic, or is that a former Browns starting quarterback?
I know who this is.
All right, who is it?
This is Ken Dorsey.
That is Ken Dorsey. Take a look at him.
Well
Very
done.
good. I thought he looked
Wait,
a lot
isn't
like
he
a
in Buffalo
mechanic.
now?
Is he a coach too?
Those
He's in Buffalo.
are like the best pictures I could find where they're smiling. Remember, a lot of these quarterbacks are like almost pre-internet. So any picture you have of them,
They're in a Browns uniform.
and it's so blurry, it's low res. They're like, he's like, there's somebody next to him. You can't find anything good, so you got to find whatever they're doing now.
Some of these Mike had to go to their parents.
Exactly.
Can you send me a picture of him when he was like
I'm like,
23 years old?
Is this Cody Kessler's dad? Okay, go ahead. This is Jay's up. Let's take
right.
the next one. Is that a former Browns quarterback, or is that a mechanic? Let's take a look. Oh, wait. What are you guessing? You're really going to get lost in his eyes.
Yeah, he's got mesmerizing eyes.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I feel like this is a mechanic.
Okay.
So I'm going to follow my gut instinct and say he's a mechanic.
Let's take a look. Oh, that's a mechanic.
Yeah, let's go.
Very good. Okay.
Just so you know, I've never had a mechanic who looks like any of your
Yeah,
Yeah,
none of these dudes.
So they're stock photo mechanics.
These are the commercials for like Pennzoil, and they're not going to put a real mechanic on the cover, so they hire this guy who's a model.
Like that,
with
but
the,
like-
It's okay.
Right
It's
after he
okay
took-
for moms to go get their oil
The
changed,
coveralls
right?
are
They're
way
not
too
that
clean.
bad.
But like right
for
after
real
he took that
mechanics.
picture, he took that off and put on like a fireman outfit, and then he was
Sure.
a fireman stock photo
Exactly
guy.
right.
All right, moving on. Bull, you're up. Here we go. Let's
What,
take
what
a
are
look.
we? 5 and 2?
Here we go. Is that a stock photo mechanic, or is that a former Browns quarterback?
That's Connor Cook.
Is that Connor Cook? Let's take a look. You're wrong. That is actually Luke McCown.
But it's a player. I
You're
write
right.
it down.
They had all the McCowns.
Judgment for Jay, from Judge Jay.
He gets it right because he ruled that he said that it was a
chose
former
quarterback.
quarterback.
Yeah.
But here's what I've learned. Every picture you show from now on when it's Bull's turn is going to be Connor Cook.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So try to stagger it so he finally gets Connor Cook.
I'll make sure of that.
The
What are we?
wrong,
Are we
obscure
6 and
Browns
2?
quarterback.
You, Adam, and Aditi are tied.
And
Okay,
two-
great.
we
Wait, no,
each
I
got
thought we
2
were
right.
a team. As
No,
in
no, we're
you.
team.
You're individually. This is
Mike wanted us to keep separate teams.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying the name anymore.
Okay, that's good. Moving on. Let's take a look at the next one. This is for Aditi.
Connor Cook.
All right. Is that a former Browns quarterback, or is that a stock photo mechanic? It's tough, right? Think back to some of the darkest days of our lives.
That's a quarterback.
You think that's a quarterback?
That is
All right,
a
let's take a
quarterback.
look.
Mechanic.
That's a mechanic. Oh, he did look very much like he could have been a crappy quarterback.
He
like
looked
a
like his
one-star.
a tooth knocked out.
Yeah, I know. That's what's tricky.
Maybe a hockey
He wasn't
player.
pretty enough to be
All
a
right,
stock
we're going.
mechanic. Good.
Moving on.
Or a quarterback, Aditi.
What do you think?
They're usually better looking.
G-Bush, what do you think? Is that a former Browns quarterback, or is that a stock photo mechanic?
Man, I'm trying to think if I see some black mechanics. He got a lineup and an earring in.
It's tough.
See, that's the tip.
He's a quarterback.
Let's see if he's a quarterback. He's a mechanic!
But hold on, can I say something right now?
Please.
We know for sure that guy's not a mechanic.
Yes.
Based on this right here.
100%.
No.
In the
I've never
hood-
seen a mechanic do that.
We got hood mechanics. The hood mechanic, he got a cigarette out of his mouth. Throw it off fast.
Right.
Yeah, it's your alternator.
That's all right.
It's your belt, bro.
Yeah, you got
It's
the
your
belt. Go ahead down to the jump part. Yeah.
All right, we only have a few more. All right, moving on. Jay, you're up.
Okay.
Here we go. What do you think?
Good
I know
Lord.
who that's.
You know, I'll tell you, at first glance, I would say, okay, this would be a guy the Browns would sign.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
But it goes against everything I know.
I know this dude.
But I'm going to say it is a quarterback.
Let's take a look. Oh, that's Kelly Holcomb.
Yes, there we go, baby.
We were just talking about him yet. Gene just asked Tim Couch about him yesterday.
You literally found the worst picture of Kelly Holcomb.
You're welcome, Kelly Holcomb. What is he, a dreamboat normally?
Not a dreamboat, but that guy looked like he was like.
Yeah.
That was.
He's troubled.
He was tired.
All right,
as
well,
hell.
you guys scour the internet for Kelly Holcomb pictures. Tell me what you come up with.
Yeah, good luck.
All right, here we go. Next one. Here we go. Bull, you're up.
All right.
What do you think?
That's a quarterback.
All right, you got a guess on who it might be?
That's Connor Cook.
All right, let's take a look. It's Kevin Hogan.
Kevin Hogan. Oh my God.
That's a win. That's a quarterback.
You know, some of these guys you try to purge from your memory.
Oh, my God.
Hogan was one of them.
Okay.
I remember when he's smart. Smart.
Yeah.
Well,
Can you
good.
throw me like a Brian Hoyer or a Brandon
Yeah, let's just
Lee
like,
or
what the greatest hits
Yeah,
at?
Brian Hoyer is another one who looks very much like an auto mechanic, though, as well.
By the way, whenever it's a no talent white guy that fans want to like, they always say he's smart.
Yeah, every time. Yeah.
Right.
He's really intelligent. He
Right.
knows
Knows
the
the
offense.
game. Knows the game. All right, let's move on. What's our next one? Let's take a look. This is for D. Okay.
That one is that's him.
No, that's
not
Connor.
quarterback.
That's Connor Shaw.
Connor Shaw.
Yeah, very good.
Yes, that guy-
Take a look.
Connor.
Yes.
That'd be great
But
if
it
it were
wasn't
your
Connor.
turn.
Yeah, it wasn't Connor.
No,
All right.
Well,
but
she knew it was a player.
You got
Yeah.
the
I
assist.
knew it was
Yeah.
a quarterback.
But he
and I knew it
also
was a
very
Connor.
much looks like a real mechanic, not a stock photo mechanic.
He does. He really
You know what
does.
I mean?
Yeah.
He wins that one.
Yeah.
Okay, we only got a couple more here. This goes to G. Bush. Here we go. What do you think? Is that
Man,
a
how
former-
come I keep getting these? Where's this light coming by on the third?
What do you think? Is that a former Browns quarterback?
I don't remember
I
his
feel
face.
like all the mechanics have the same hair.
I don't feel
Like
like
the
I
same
feel-
hair gel.
This dude
Yeah.
is
Motor oil hair gel.
this dude's definitely changing, rotating tires. This is a mechanic.
We're going mechanic. Let's take a look. He's a
There
mechanic.
you go. There you go.
All
GM
right.
Good wrench.
Very good. All right,
All right.
we've just like a couple more. This is
I'm
not gonna
undefeated so far.
Go right ahead. We all know.
I want to
Jay.
keep
Go
it
ahead.
going.
Is that a former Browns quarterback?
No.
Or
Like
10-second shot clock,
an
G.
auto mechanic?
10-second shot clock? When did that come up? Now
This
it's my
look-
turn?
Yes.
This is like Joe Thomas's cousin.
What do you think?
He's awfully happy, and Browns quarterbacks had nothing to smile about, so I'm going mechanic.
Let's see if he's a mechanic.
It's a quarterback.
It's a mechanic.
Yeah, that was a mechanic.
All right.
That was a
Smile was the
mechanic.
dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Browns quarterback photos are usually like mug shots.
Uh-huh. They are. All right, just a couple more. Here we go. This is Bulls. What do you think?
Oh, that's a quarterback. That's I forgot his name.
Who is
You
that?
sure?
Yes, that's a quarterback.
All right, but you don't know who.
Connor Cook!
No, not Connor Cook.
Let's take a look.
No, I don't know him.
Oh, that's Thaddeus Lewis.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his name.
Remember Thaddeus Lewis?
By the way, if Thaddeus Lewis walked in here right now with a Thaddeus Lewis jersey,
Yeah.
I wouldn't look twice at him. I'd be like, that's not
Yeah.
Thaddeus Lewis.
I'd be like, oh, that guy got his own personalized jersey made at home.
Right. It must have been a good friend of his.
His dad was
How
probably.
many games did he start?
Two.
Two?
Two or
Was it
three. Yeah,
All right.
not many.
Not
most
strong.
of these guys started fewer than 5.
All right,
Yes.
we only have 2 more, so this isn't going to time up perfectly, but just deal with it. Let's take a look, Aditi.
That's a
at your next
mechanic.
one. That's a mechanic. That was a quick one. Let's take a
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
I'm just trying to
You're
win
right.
the
He
game.
looks 12. That was it. I was running out of mechanics at this point. We have one last one. We're going to go ahead and leave this open to the whole group. What do you think?
That's a
What do
quarterback.
we
Yeah,
think?
that is a quarterback.
All right. Anybody?
That's a
Is that Josh McCown?
We have
No,
one. We have one for how many for quarterbacks? How many for mechanics?
Quarterback.
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 I'm saying mechanic.
He's saying
I'll
mechanic.
say quarterback.
And we got quarterback. Let's take a look. That's Austin Davis.
Oh my!
Davis, and that
My
is our
God.
game, everybody. What's
It
the
was
final
never
tally?
Connor Cook.
What's the final tally? We got.
Looks like Aditi and Jay are tied.
Woohoo!
That's
I
what
thought
I'm
I
talking
was
about.
tied.
And then we got Adam. That was earlier. And then
That was weeks ago.
Good effort. Good effort, bud.
Good answer. Good answer.
Was I thinking Connor Shaw the whole time?
I think
Connor Cook.
Yeah.
Aditi, here's how sad our fan base is. We wanted to do this game with Pittsburgh, but there were only 3 guys. And we knew all of them, so Mike said, what's the point?
Right.
Well,
and we all know what they look like.
The year that I dropped the baby in Cleveland, they did start 3 quarterbacks.
That's the first time that's ever happened, I'm sure.
Then Mason Rudolph, and then Duck Hodges.
Oh, that's right. Oh, wow.
And we lost to Duck
Bubby
Hodges.
Brister. You could have put Bubby Brister on there.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago, though.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's the game, everybody. Congratulations.
That was a hell of a game.
That was fun.
And our guest, she won that. We can agree on that,
Look,
right?
we tied, but I'm gonna do the gentlemanly
magnanimous
thing,
yeah.
and I'm gonna say
and be very open about it.
The last one, even though I sounded sure, it was a total shot in the dark. I didn't know.
That one I knew.
And you may have gotten lucky a time or two too. But
Maybe.
we want our
I did get some help,
guests.
though. I did
our
get
visit.
some help initially when I was trying to figure out
I
the
did
game.
cheat.
So
I did
do
cheat. Give you,
appreciate it.
but
No,
I
it was
wanted you
nice
to.
to
I
meet
want you to come back. So
yeah.
Do I win a prize?
Yeah, we'll take care of that. There's like a huge, there's a yacht out there.
We have a lifetime supply of ramen noodles.
we hijacked it from Russia.
get a giant
from a Russian oligarch. It's yours.
Can we do good bet, bad bet really quick? Do we have time?
Yeah, we could do good bet, bad bet, and then we'll do final takes after the break.
Bull was just upset. He's like, no, I'm going to get a win somewhere.
Yeah, I'm like,
Run
what
that
is
credit.
this?
Run.
So, Mikey, break here.
We're going to do good bet, bad bet real quick. Let's get Steve's pulling up the standings as we speak.
I love it. That's the beauty of having no sponsors. We're new. Like, we don't have to take a commercial break.
Yep, let's hope it stays this way.
Want to stick around?
That'd be cool for about 2 more weeks.
room in this show right now.
I did have a landscape company ask me if they can sponsor the show. So we
Nice.
might have, and I know we
Why
already have
didn't
a
you
couple
follow
sponsors
through?
that
Yeah.
are coming. Oh yeah, they're coming. Listen. They were waiting to see whether or not we were legit. You showed up today, and now they're like, what? Aditi's in the
sweet.
studio? We're gonna have banks calling us now.
Yeah.
Car
But
dealers.
how good is a landscape company to me?
Get
They're
them.
not going to come mow
He
my
didn't-
lawn in Pittsburgh, are
He
they?
didn't say
No,
I have
I
to.
don't think
He
so.
didn't tell y'all I
Jewelry
had to cut
store.
grass though. He was like, we sponsor. G. Bush cuts 3 lawns a week. Mulching.
Do you cut your own grass?
Heck yeah.
I have to do that.
Push mower
Oh
or is it a
yeah.
riding mower?
Well, the neighbors let them tell it.
Yeah.
They'll-
Scissors, Aditi. Scissors.
Your grass is
By the way, I
3
got a
inches
neighbor who
too
mows his
high.
lawn at like 7 o'clock at night. Isn't that
Since
inappropriate?
you live in a nice neighborhood, probably, right?
But that's it.
Would you
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Judge
make
Jay
it
to
up
pay
super
your
nice.
neighbor a visit?
Please,
Because
it's
that
inappropriate.
violates
Yeah,
civil
that is wrong.
standards.
It's
Right? You
completely
can't be
wrong.
mowing at 7 o'clock at night.
Guy's a lunatic.
It takes him like an hour to mow his lawn.
I'll come over and yell.
It's not that
That's
big a
when he
lawn.
mows it. Wouldn't you rather he mows it than he does
That's
it?
his whole day. That's
No,
the
but
problem.
why do it at 7 o'clock at
Because
night?
that's the only time
Because
he
that's
has
when he
free.
gets home from
works.
work.
He's
He
got
comes home
3
and eats dinner.
kids. Let one of them mow it.
Oh, it's 7 at night?
He's very particular.
Yeah.
He
about
can
his
do it at
lawn.
night. I thought you said 7 in the
No, I
morning.
don't like it at night.
No, he's
All
very
right, well.
particular with his lawn. He's not going to trust it to his kids yet. That's down the road. Mikey?
Kids are old
Yeah,
enough.
we're going to do good bet,
bad
bad
Sorry.
bet. Let's get the standings up real quick. Mike
Yeah.
Polk still
Look at that.
a stunning undefeated
Not enough games to
5-0.
qualify, though.
Yeah.
True.
So let's run through these
Let's
real
get this
quick.
money, G.
Okay,
Bush.
we're all sucking right now.
First bet.
Except for Mike.
Guardians 1.5 run favorites over the Reds. This was the rain out from yesterday. It's Cal Quantrill
Same
versus
pitching
Tommy
matchup,
Bailey.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, good. All the way good.
Yeah, I'm good.
They're going to crush
I got
the Reds
good.
tonight.
I call good.
I didn't.
You went bad.
No, I went bad.
All right.
Okay, I see you.
Good on you.
It's about time you guys disagreed on something.
Yeah.
I know. We got to separate the pack. All right, what's the
All right,
next one?
Moving on. Next, Miami-Boston, Game 2 tonight. Heat 3.5-point favorites at home.
We all put the same?
We clearly all think that's a bad play.
Celtics bounce back.
I think they do too.
No.
I think Game 1 was a bit of an aberration. Okay, last one. Did we all agree on that one too?
I don't think we agreed on the last one. It was over 6.5 goals in the Lightning
Yeah, we
Panthers
did.
Game 2.
Bad.
Way to know
Yeah.
your content, Mikey McNuggets.
Yeah.
We've been jumping through so many hoops today.
By
that,
the way,
yeah, I
how
got
did we
lost.
get to hockey? Like, I mean,
It's a playoff game. It's a playoff game. I think everybody wants to,
I had no idea what I was talking about. I just guessed. that
Yeah.
that would not be
It sounded like a lot of goals.
Yeah,
I
it
wouldn't
did
say.
seem like a
You're
lot.
5-0. Do you want to give us what's the secret
Some
behind your
analysis?
You
success?
know what it is? You just got to believe in yourself, dig deep,
Yeah.
and just not give a damn about what you're saying or guessing at. Do it on the way in here in your car, on the car ride. That's my recommendation. Do no research.
I use a coin flip.
Uh-huh.
Good
Yeah.
bet.
Oh, we're going to take
All
a
right.
break and do final takes.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Beautiful.
We'll be right back. Final takes. Didi, do you want to do a final take?
What are final takes?
We just kind of talk for a minute on something that we're passionate about that is in the sports. Doesn't even have to be
I
sports
would
related.
love to.
Okay,
but
great.
I should explain my sweatshirt, shouldn't I?
Maybe that's your final
So
take.
that's my final take?
All right.
that.
That sounds like a whale of a time. It's going to happen right after this. Hi, my name is Jay Crawford. I am a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. I have carried my fandom every city I've ever lived in. People have always asked me, why are you so diehard about Cleveland? It's because I'm from here. And we know how much our teams mean to us. Most of us know that because of our parents. In my case, my father was just a huge Cleveland sports fan. It was really part of our life. It was woven into everything we did. And it was our connection throughout his life.
When you watch Front Row, you never have to ask what's going on in Cleveland.
It is our job to get you up to speed on the latest news and events so you can enjoy all our city has to offer. We are bright, bold, and all about the action.
Whether you're a diehard Browns fan, waiting on breaking news, or searching for a special event for a weekend away.
Our hometown has it all. So join us. We're waiting for you. Front Row, weeknights at 7.
Seeing, knowing, and understanding Northeast Ohio is something we take very seriously.
Because in our connected world, what happens in one community can have an impact on others,
leading to difficult challenges and opportunities for reflection and growth.
So, for in-depth analysis of how today's top stories affect you, your family, and our communities across Northeast Ohio,
join us for 3 News at 6.
So you know what matters most.
Hi, my name is Jay Crawford. I'm a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. My favorite all-time Cleveland sports moment, you're not going to believe this, it was Rajay Davis's home run in Game 7 that tied the score.
My favorite Cleveland sports moment would have to be the Kyrie Irving 2016 shot. It's the only time that I've ever cried over any sporting event.
And my ultimate Cleveland memory is when the Cavs won the championship and the day of the parade. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life. Sports Live in Chicago.
Here it is. We've got a graphic and everything for it. It's just like the NFL Network, man. We're big time, baby.
By the way, Jay, in that promo where you talk about the Rajay Davis moment, I had him on my radio show about like during the COVID times when there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
And he was so awesome. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to meet him at all.
Yeah, I have.
That was
incredible storytelling.
One of the most. I mean, obviously that game was just batshit. You know what? Oh.
Yeah.
No kidding.
You bleed through
all the lights turn off in the room.
So my phone buzzes, and I'm thinking, oh no, is my child
And I can't
sick?
dump it.
It's the story of Jay Crawford hitting a ball.
Oh, nice. There
Mike
you go.
said by
Couldn't
this
even
evening
wait.
we'll all
Couldn't
have it on
wait
our
for a
phone.
break. Yeah,
And I
so
said
we
it
wanted
to
make sure
everybody
before
here.
the show's end, we all have
Aditi,
it on our
again,
phone.
it was my crowning moment.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Okay.
All right,
Final
then.
takes. Bull, you go.
Yes. So it's a little off the time of the year, right? But I want to talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame because I am so frustrated by what's happened to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I grew up, baseball was it. I liked football, I liked college basketball, but baseball was all that I and many people my age cared about when I was a kid, especially growing up in New York, even though I didn't root for any New York teams. And the Hall of Fame in baseball meant so much. I know in Northeast Ohio, the Pro Football Hall of Fame is very important. But if you grew up where I did, nobody cared about the Football Hall of Fame. Certainly nobody, I don't think anybody cares about the Basketball Hall of Fame. I can't even figure out who belongs and who doesn't because it's not just the NBA. But the Baseball Hall of Fame is special. If you've ever been to Cooperstown, New York, if you're a baseball fan, you understand what that town and that Hall of Fame means. But it's been ruined. Because now we have all these great players that don't go in. And I get it. I get a lot of people saying, well, it's their fault. They used the steroids and they cheated. And you're right. I don't have sympathy for them personally, but I have sympathy for me as a baseball fan and all the other baseball fans out there. And what really bothers me is the people that are not voting them in, they all benefited. They all made money as baseball writers on the backs of these guys telling their stories. When these guys were all using steroids and hitting 1 million home runs, and when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire saved baseball by bringing it back from the awful strike, or was it strike or lockout? Strike. And they brought it back, and then Barry Bonds took it another level. Okay, some of these guys are not likable. Clemens and Bonds are not the most likable guys. Okay, you can have higher standards for guys that took steroids. I get it. But in the end, the Hall of Fame is a museum. It tells the story of baseball. And you can't tell the story of baseball without Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and A-Rod, no matter how despicable they all may be. That continues. Sosa, McGwire, Palmeiro, and more. And first of all, we don't even know who is taking steroids and who's not. So now, in a lot of these cases, we're not even sure. Mike Piazza didn't get into the Hall of Fame initially. He did eventually because guys suspected he did steroids. So now we're going to vote against guys who are suspected of using steroids. And once again, the writers, at the time, nobody was writing or saying anything about it. But all of a sudden now they're all up on their high horse. Let's get rid of these older baseball writers. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And let's start voting these. I mean, for some of them it's too late. The time has passed. But I think these guys should be in the Hall of Fame. As you know, again, higher standards. But I think all these steroid guys should be in the Hall of Fame.
I have a real question about that real quick. And that is, these sports writers spend their whole careers, and there's this power dynamic, and they are beneath the players.
Yeah.
Do you think some of them are higher in their own supply and like lording that over them?
I absolutely think.
Finally,
there's no doubt.
So now they're like, maybe I don't feel like putting you in the
Look at
Hall
Jim
of
Rice. Look at Jim Rice.
Yep.
Eddie Murray. A lot of guys didn't vote for him.
I'm with you. I co-sign everything you said. And you said that the writers weren't talking about it. They were in their circles.
Right.
They're
Not
journalists.
publicly.
They're
Yeah.
journalists.
Yes.
They knew what was going on.
And they did nothing.
Believe your eyes.
Yes.
They
Right.
knew what was going on, and they weren't writing about it.
That's
and
right.
They were derelict from their duties
Absolutely.
as well.
And they're not punished.
Who's next? G. Bush? Is he
Yeah,
next?
I didn't even tell Mikey what my joint was going to be. I was supposed to tell him, but we'll just go ahead.
I didn't either. He'll roll with it.
So
watch what I'll do. Don't worry.
All right, let's get it going. You know, nowadays you can't say anything to everybody, right? People get offended. But one of the easiest things people will get offended over is you say, hey, you're a terrible parent. Watch somebody melt. Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm here to tell you there are bad parents. And I'm going to give you 3 or 4 reasons how I know, because I just seen 2 of them at the gas station yesterday. Apparently, at the gas station, since it's not even a grocery store, some people's children, they just can't sit still. I saw a woman who had a kid on a leash. Literally. It was like a long extended cord so the kid would not move around. And on top of this, the kid was just like, listen, I'm hungry. I want this, and that. She was just like, we can't have it. Oh, he just fell out. He just fell out in the store. And to get him to shut up, she began to unwrap cookies, pretzels, all this stuff. We were sitting in line. I'm sitting in line like, no, don't do it. Please don't do it.
Yeah.
The kid is destroying all this food, and she hasn't paid for it.
It's not going to fix the situation.
Yeah, I was like, gasp. I was like, yo, if you want your kid to be kind of like over the top, I know everyone's kids cry. I don't have any kids yet, and trust me, if I do, my kid's going to be terrible. He's probably going to be horrible. He's probably going to be unruly. But one thing you won't have to worry about. If you're in a line with me and my kid, he will not get to eat anything in that line before I pay for it.
Nice.
And that is why there are some terrible parents in the world.
Good point.
Wait till you get a chance, kiddo.
By the way, I once bought a pound of ham at a supermarket. Have I told this story? I can't remember if I told the story. And I ate it all before I got to.
No, bro.
A pound of ham.
You can't do that.
That's free.
I was in college.
You can't do that. You got to pay for that
one
first.
or 2 times
Oh, he
I
ended
stole
up paying
something.
for it, but after he
I did
consumed
not pay
it.
What
for
was
it.
the second time you stole something?
I stole things twice in my life.
Wow.
When I was 16, I stole a Nike. You know that picture? In fact, this is funny. I showed you guys off the air a picture of me with blonde hair. Remember that?
Yeah.
I'd love to see
Frosted
that.
tips. It was
Right.
a beauty.
I'll show you after the show. And in that picture, remember I was wearing a sweatshirt that said Air, was like a Nike Air sweatshirt? I stole that from the Kings Plaza Mall when I was 16 years old. I had to cut out the thing that explodes if you try to take it out. I cut it out so there was like a hole in the inside of the shirt. But I stole that shirt and I stole a pound of ham. The two crimes I've committed. Yeah.
Who's on line 1?
The manager.
Police.
Stop and Shop from New York?
Manager of a Foot Locker from 1989.
My mother said something to me, never forget it.
Yeah.
If you found money in the house, even if it was change in the couch, you better not touch it because you don't own nothing in this house. You don't got a job. And if you find it, you better bring it back to me.
Yeah.
I can't take nothing. I'll be like, there's a quarter there. She's like, I know it's a quarter there.
That's mine.
That's where I deposited that.
Come on, you guys never stole anything before? Never?
I stole like 3 things last week.
See, honesty.
Okay, my final thought is a quick one. It's disappointment. I'm disappointed in Anderson Varejao. We sent you to do one thing, Anderson Varejao, one thing. We sent you to the draft to try and win us the lottery. We've done it before. We beat the odds. We love you. You're fun. You're floppy haired. You were a flopper, and you were like another mascot for the team, and we love you for that. But you really screwed the pooch on this one. You went out there with the worst case scenario that could have happened was coming back with the 14th pick. You came back with the 14th pick. Now I want to give you credit because you were such a great Cav for such a long time. Obviously you were great. You were with us that year that we won the championship. Oh wait, you weren't. You were on the Golden State Warriors, Anderson Varejao, the team that we beat. You son of a gun. Andy, you could have done better. I'm disappointed. I'm not giving up on you as a Cav and a human being. I think you're a wonderful person still, but you really blew it.
He had one job.
One job.
Didn't do it.
Could have come back with 11. Could have come back with 12. Could have come back with 9. Came back with the worst we could have had, 14.
Choker.
Choked. Funny quick story on him after I think it was a Christmas Day game. My son's birthday was Christmas Eve, and it was either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. We were at the queue for the game, and at the end of the game, he didn't play much. He was running off, and he had a towel, his little towel, and he threw it in the stands, and we were sitting right behind the cast bench, and Corey caught it, and he still has it. We call it the Veritol. And,
nice.
And so we've always followed him like more than anything. Then when we went to Golden State, Corey wanted to get rid of that towel. He loves it.
It didn't smell like hair
Does
product.
he still have the towel?
Still has it. Yeah, it's called the Veritol. And then you got to keep it now forever.
He did wash it, right?
That's
no,
a wash
actually, he didn't play much, so it didn't have any sweat on it.
It's fine.
It's
still lucky.
Derek Brooks gave him some gloves once after a game, and I told him, I go, those are really cool, but they're like soaked.
Yeah.
and they're going to stink in a day or two, so we got to see what we can do to clean them up.
We did make a request to get Varejao on the show.
I hope
they're working on it. So if he comes on,
we can talk about that.
It better be a duel.
I'll address it.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
Do you want me to go and then Aditi?
Jay, and we're gonna end with Aditi.
We should have our guest go last. Okay. Close up. Swing it. Right here.
Wow.
Yeah. I only talk if I'm on camera.
I know.
Okay.
He loves his single.
I do. You got to know where your camera is. You got to know where your close up is. Aditi knows this. I want to shout out not just Aditi, but I want to shout out all of the women who have made their way in a man's world. Bree, one of our producers, raising her hand over there. She's a huge advocate for women in sports, and why not? And she's always telling us, guys, don't forget, women in sports, women in sports. And when Aditi came in, she said before the show yesterday, she said, we've got to have Aditi. Don't forget, pump women in sports. Bree, this is for you. Aditi, this is for you. It is one of the most difficult, maybe the only thing that's more difficult is making your way actually in the NFL. And we've seen that, and the Browns have been one of the leaders in this right now, bringing female coaches in, female assistants. It's always been that last bastion of boys club. And as I've had an opportunity the last 10 to 15 years, as I look at the national media landscape, I have many female friends that have made their way in a man's world, the NFL. And I will tell you, it is 10 times more difficult for a female to make it in this business than it is for any of us. Because sports fans know genuine and they know fake right away. You can't pretend you know this business. I've seen women try, I've seen men try. Fans figure it out like that, and they don't stick around very long. We have a very distinct language. And Aditi and others that I've worked with along the way are here because they belong here. They know the game as well as anybody. And kudos to you for opening to half of America, half of our young women in this country that might have a dream of one day doing what you're doing. They have pioneers now. They did it, so maybe we can do it too. Kudos to all the women in a man's world, what was formerly a man's world. You've done well. You've done very well.
There's always a clip, too. There's always a clip, too, just so you know, of like knuckle-dragging meathead dudes screaming at a woman ref or something like that.
Right.
And then that, a lot of times, I feel like gets blown out of proportion and seems to represent the whole take of men in general or a majority or something. And that's not true. It's just like the internet. If you get like one negative comment, that does not equal 14,000 people.
No, it doesn't.
Don't take us by our worst representation. That's all I'm asking, because so many of us are very supportive of what's happening.
Absolutely.
So,
Oh, and I completely will second that.
There.
But because I wasn't prepared to talk about women in sports right now, and I'm not in the mood to get particularly emotional.
No, we took care of that for you.
Yeah, seriously, let's make a little bit of a turn. You made the point about the Browns being so good at valuing people. And I'll say this, having spent the last dozen years traversing the National Football League, I've gotten the opportunity to be around so many different fan bases, so many different organizations. The Browns take a lot of national heat. The Browns, fairly or unfairly, are often the butt of jokes. But let me tell you, the Browns organization is filled with really, truly, genuinely good people. And I am sitting at crossroads in my career, and the Browns have thrown me several lifelines, and they've given me basically the coolest hoodie on the planet.
Yeah.
Now, there is a story behind this hoodie, let me tell you. This is a little bit awkward that, my body is being shown without my head. Not really like the best part of my body, But anyway, these hoodies are not for sale. These hoodies must be bestowed upon you by head coach Kevin Stefanski. I don't know if he actually knows that this one was bestowed upon me.
Wow.
I didn't steal it, however.
Yeah.
It wasn't given to me. And when I talk about good people within the Browns organization, one of those people is Nathan Zagura, who everybody in this town must know as the internal media face of the Browns organization. Wonderful gentleman. He has been great to me over the years, except for once when I had a falling out with Shmew Jackson. And he has really welcomed me with open arms as I'm doing a few more things with the Browns right now. However, poor Nathan does not yet have one of these sweatshirts.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So Nathan, please continue to talk to me. I will still be your friend. Will you please still be mine? Thanks, guys, so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Yeah, thank you. We really thoroughly enjoyed your presence. Like I said at the start of the show, you class up the joint.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you.
And the time just flew by.
Yeah, it did. Here we are. We're in overtime again. We went 14 minutes over, but who cares?
What happens when sponsors show? Can you
Well,
still go
it's going to
overtime?
change our world dramatically, and we're all aware of that.
Cross that
Takes
bridge.
Still
real
won't stop
commercial
us from
breaks.
going overtime.
No, but the beauty of it is we don't have a hard envelope. Like any show that you've ever
Sure.
worked on, unless it's breaking news,
Wrap
you
it
have
up,
a
guys.
closed
Wrap it up.
end.
15
Yeah, you are
seconds
the
now.
slave
Yep.
to the clock. You're constantly hearing, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. We drone on a lot here, and it's maybe tough to listen to, but we all kind of figures if we're having a good time, maybe they'll keep watching.
Well,
and that's
I
our
laughed a
mantra.
lot. I'll tell you that. I laughed a lot.
Good. That was our whole mission and our hope. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to get to see you on a pretty regular basis, aren't we?
I'm supposed to be a weekly hop in.
That sounded
We love that.
I
We
like
love
it,
that.
though.
Bree, you owe me lunch. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're back tomorrow. Mikey, what's the big selling point on tomorrow's show? I know we're going to solidify your nickname, right?
We got DeQuell Jackson.
Awesome.
Back on. He said he was going to bring a prop, maybe some whiskey or wine.
Yes, I remember
What?
that.
You
Yes,
don't invite me on that day?
I know.
We're going to come up with a nickname, and we're going to figure out what else to talk about because we skipped a couple topics today. We'll probably bring them back tomorrow.
Yeah, we always try to do that. Okay.
I want to get to that Francona thing, so
We'll
can
do that
rip
tomorrow for you,
Mikey
Bull.
McNuggets.
All right, very good. We're out of time on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We're back tomorrow, 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, like us, subscribe to us, do the Twitter about us, do all that stuff, and don't forget the People's Champ,
Yes.
G. Bush. See you tomorrow.
About to lose that belt.
Bye.
Thanks again, everybody.
See you, Cleveland.
Thank you. See you again tomorrow.